580 AM, 1059 FM, KMJ, Fresno, a Cumulus Media station.
KMJ.
It's 62 degrees in Fresno at Radio City. Good afternoon. I'm Gabe Navarro in the KMJ newsroom. Parlier Unified continues to mourn the loss of one of its students who was struck and killed while walking home.
Just before 6:30 Friday evening, 13-year-old Fernanda Perez Aldama was walking home from school when she was hit by a car, according to Parlier police. The 7th grader was walking across a marked crosswalk at Madsen and Amigo Avenues in front of the junior high school. Police say the driver who hit the teenager with their car called 911 to get help. Right now, police do not believe alcohol or drugs were a contributing factor to the crash. The Parlier Unified School District gave the following statement, saying in part, quote, "We are a caring and close community, and a loss, especially that of a child, is devastating. Please keep our community in your prayers as we embrace the family at this time."
That was Fox 26 News reporter Sofia Lesios. A newly introduced bill in Sacramento seeks to make higher education in California cheaper for hundreds of Mexican students. San Diego Republican Assemblyman David Alvarez says his AB 91 seeks to create a 5-year pilot program to allow some students living in Mexico to pay in-state tuition at several community colleges. But it would only apply to those living within 45 miles of the border and would limit participants at each campus to 200 students. A $10,000 reward is now being offered for tips leading to the arrest of a well-loved Bay Area baker. And KTVU's Christina Rendon has the story.
48-year-old Jen Angel was the owner of Angel Cakes Bakery located near Jack London Square. Police say that someone broke into her car on Monday as she was sitting inside the car and stole items. She got out of the car, struggled to get those items back, and as the suspects dragged her 50 feet down the street, they drove off. No arrests have been made in the case. Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao is reacting to Angel's death, saying in a tweet, "I met Jen last year and she was an absolute joy who worked every day to spread love and kindness. Her impact on Oakland's communities can never be replaced."
It's another record-breaking year for farm exports. KMJ's Ag Director Don York reports.
The American agricultural sector posted its best export year ever in 2022. USDA says international sales of America's farm and food products reached $196 billion. Final trade data from the U.S. Commerce Department shows U.S. ag exports increased 11% or $19.5 billion from the previous mark set in 2021. The value of sales increased in all of America's top 10 export markets, including China, Mexico, Canada, Japan, the European Union, South Korea, Taiwan, the Philippines, Colombia, and Vietnam. Sales in 7 of the 10 countries set new records. Top U.S. commodity exports include beef, dairy, cotton, and tree nuts. Don York, KMJ News.
Coming up on 4 minutes past the hour, we take a look at the closing numbers from Wall Street. The Dow wrapped up trading today at 34,245 points in the green. The NASDAQ and the S&P 500 also closed in the green. Valley weather right now, it is cloudy skies, partly cloudy, 62 degrees at Radio City. Today, we expect to get the highs of 65. Tonight, temperatures are dropping in the 40s with a freeze warning extending through Thursday morning. And then tomorrow, cloudy with highs in the mid-50s. With news on the hour, on the half, when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Gabe Navarro on News Talk 580, 1059 KMJ.
It's new, it's huge, and he's there 7 days a week. Lou Rodman's Patio Bar Stool and Amish Emporium. Where? Right next to Fashion Furniture across from Lowe's. There is nothing like this.
Now, the Valley's Afternoon Drive with Philip Teresi. Philip Teresi. Your calls, your tweets, and your voice are welcome right now on News Talk 580, 1059 KMJ.
2:05 News Talk 580, 1059 KMJ. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Monday installment of your Afternoon Drive. Phone numbers here are 490-5858. Toll free, you can join me at 800-776-5858. On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, you're going to find the show at Drive KMJ. And on Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch.tv, you can watch the show also at Drive KMJ. Joshua Weekly is standing by to screen your calls this afternoon as we get started with your Daily Buzz question at KMJNow.com. It's brought to you by the Boz Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Centers. Today we ask, Should today be a national holiday? Let us know what you think. Again, the Buzz question at kmjnow.com is sponsored by the Buzz Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Centers. Yeah, why not? I think that every month should have 1 or 2 3-day weekends built in. And I think that making those 3-day weekends about the men and women who have built this country, the men and women who have sacrificed for this country, the families that have shared in that sacrifice. You know, I think about Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I think about Veterans Day, Memorial Day, President's Day, Christmas, Easter. All of those occasions warrant everybody taking a moment, and there's more, but those in particular warrant everybody taking a moment to have some gratitude, to recognize how we got to where we are today. I also think, to be perfectly honest, it's a fantastic way to give everybody a 4-day work week at least once a month, which, in my opinion, could improve productivity if we actually do a proper, like, nope, country's closed today, we'll see you on Tuesday. And completely take it as a complete holiday. And look, I understand there's always going to be folks that need to run to the grocery store, hit the gas station. You know, that service economy is going to keep on chugging. But I think that a monthly 3-day weekend makes perfect sense. Now, in February, I'm not sure that we need to add one, as we already have President's Day. But I'm okay with 2. The day after the Super Bowl is a useless day. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the 24-hour infotainment networks. And what are we talking about? Whether or not the weather balloon-like likely spy craft that we shot down over the Great Lakes this morning is a UFO. Because in a country full of educated, self-possessed, responsible adults intent on self-governance, the possibility that this stupid thing is an alien spacecraft full of little green men is being treated as if though it has some sort of merit on what used to be a news network. On the other side, Super Bowl. Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Turning on the TV this morning, flipping through all the various stations. That's what everybody was talking about. And some of it was good. It was loving on that incredible national anthem. It was having fun with some really, there were some decent spots this year. The commercials, I mean. There were some decent spots. I think that the Breaking Bad popcorner spot, loved it. I also thought that the Ben Affleck Dunkin' Donuts spot was cute. It was funny. I'm still not sure what the Disney 100th anniversary spot is trying to sell me, or if they're just trying to get me excited before announcing that they're going to flat out up the park prices to $200 a head per day. But it was a cool spot. It was neat to see, you know, that pantheon represented across 90 seconds. I do wonder how, if you're one of the, I think it was 7,000 people that got cut loose by Disney over the course of the past quarter, how it felt to see them spending $15, $20 million on a Super Bowl spot instead of letting you keep feeding your family. But should today be a national holiday? I don't see why not. Everybody watched and I know there's people who didn't watch the game. There's people who don't care, who really genuinely aren't interested, don't care, didn't participate. Maybe I'll go buy like a little sheet of those gold stars that our stickers used to give out. Our teachers used to give out when we were, did particularly good on a homework assignment. And everybody who didn't watch the Super Bowl can have a little gold star and be very proud of themselves for not watching TV on a day when 100 million people tuned in because we were all having fun. It's not deep. It's not important. I'm not sure that absolutely everything has to be. The gravitas of Veterans Day or Memorial Day the opportunity for reflection from President's Day, from MLK Day, the acknowledgement of roots that run deeper and go back further than the boundaries of our country, temporal or geographic, in Christmas and in Easter. I think having a stupid holiday is a great idea. I also think that keeping the game in close proximity to Valentine's Day, if you're going to do that, and look, I know this would require the NFL getting on board, but for goodness sake, if you're going to get a national holiday named after your championship event, hop on board and let's make the Super Bowl the weekend before Valentine's Day every year. Because you know what you need to be doing right now that you didn't do this weekend because you were getting ready for the game. You need to be buying jewelry or flowers or chocolates or whatever it is that she wants, and God help you if that's a vacuum cleaner and she didn't specifically sit down, look you in the face, and tell you 3 times, I want appliances for Valentine's Day. I've had it happen. It worked out great. Mrs. Teresi one year, she wanted a Roomba. I tell that story and people's eyes get big every time. You bought her what? You bought her a robot vacuum? It's what she wanted. But if you made today a national holiday, we can all clean up our messes, literally get our houses back in order. We can go out and do all the Valentine's Day shopping and prepping and preening that needs to be done. And tomorrow, when you go back to work and you're back into the swing of the week, you're rested, you've got all of this out of your system, all the what was the best commercial? What about that national anthem? Was that lady pregnant on that weird flying UFO platform thing? And by the way, speaking of Rihanna, was that top that she was wearing? Josh, did you watch it? You watched that top that she was wearing. It was like a red, almost like a snowsuit. But there was a band across her chest that was, I thought it was red vinyl. And my wife kept swearing that it was a red tinted clear vinyl. You don't think it was clear either. See, I don't think it was clear. I don't think that this lady, in doing her first onstage anything 6 years since her last tour and visibly with child, wants to have a Janet Jackson moment. I just think it was a vinyl strip. It was kind of funky. She's got the build for it, God bless her. But what's being accomplished at work today if everybody in the country is having a similar conversation? Nothing. We're talking about UFOs and the nice lady on the TV's costume. Check out the buzz question at kmjnow.com. Should today, the day after the Super Bowl, be a national holiday? I think it should. Tell us what you think at kmjnow.com. That buzz question, again, is sponsored by the Boz Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Centers. Now, coming up in the 3 o'clock hour, we're going to hear from Congressman David Valadao and Congressman Glenn Thompson out of Pennsylvania. There is a Farm Bill listening session coming up at the World Ag Expo. Both of these lawmakers have several irons in the fire when it comes to agriculture, and there's an opportunity for you to get heard, to kind of participate and help inform how they pursue the legislation that they believe they need to pursue in order to best meet the needs of American farmers. And so tomorrow from 10 to noon at the World Ag Expo, you're going to see Glenn Thompson, chairman of the House Committee on Agriculture, along with David Valadao, and other members from the House Committee on Agriculture participating and contributing. They're going to talk to farmers ranchers, producers, agribusiness owners, and they want public feedback. It's an absolutely essential part of the Farm Bill reauthorization process. And everybody on the committee has been invited to participate, as well as the entire California congressional delegation. So we'll talk with those two about, if you want to be involved, what hoops do you have to jump through? And if you are concerned about what's going to be said there, if you're concerned about what's happening with agriculture, this is a real good opportunity to get some of the guys who are going to be making, crafting the legislation and advancing the legislation, making sure that they understand what it is that you want. Meanwhile, up on the Hill, a fourth object shut down over Lake Huron on Sunday. And you've got lawmakers from both sides of the aisle going absolutely nuts, demanding transparency about what these objects are. In particular, we've got Steve Daines out of Montana saying the lack of communication from the administration regarding the closing of Montana airspace last night and the recent shootdowns that took place over Alaska and Canada is unacceptable. Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin saying as long as these things keep traversing America and Canada, she's going to continue to ask for Congress to get a full briefing based on our exploitation of this wreckage. Congressman Bergman out of Michigan saying the American people deserve far more answers than we have. I want to dig into this just a little bit because we do know a little about what it is that's been shot down. I also think that there's a big opportunity for members of Congress from various jurisdictions to jump up and down and say, tell us. If you've got an investigation underway, if you're building a case, if you've got a question about compromised intelligence, wouldn't you necessarily play those cards close to the chest until your investigation's complete? If I show up on the front steps of the district attorney's office demanding that they tell me everything about every case that they're investigating, they laugh me out the door, and understandably so. That's not how that works. I can't make up my mind if this is members of Congress just being useless and grandstanding, or if there's a genuine belief that there's something that we need to know about balloons and spycraft 20 to 40 to 60,000 feet above American airspace. More on this when we get back on the afternoon drive at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I sell custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters that are easy to install at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are custom-made for your windows, and I guarantee they'll fit. Don't hire a pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Years, but there are still some of you, shame, who have not seen Lou Rodman's Patio Bar Stool and Amish Emporium. Brand new for him, right next to Fashion Furniture across from Lowe's. Let's talk. The finest outdoor furniture manufacturer in the country is OWE. It's been a little hard to get, but now, daily, new deliveries of outdoor furniture from OWE are winding up at Lou's place. This line is not bargain basement or cheap, no, but for the discerning outdoor type who loves their outdoor furniture as much as their indoor furniture. Two names, Lou Rodman and OWE. That's it. And who would have thought Amish furniture would have exploded like it has? This is the part where I mention how much I love my Amish rocking chair. But the Amish are producing furniture for every room in the house for Lou Rodman. Bar stools, indoor and outside. Dining sets from everywhere, including Amish and affordable contemporary pieces for your dining room. There is, in this state, no other store like it. Lou Rodman's Patio Bar Stool and Amish Emporium. Open 7 days a week.
Hi, I'm Joe Holstein, president of SunPower by Quality Home Services, with an urgent message. The local utilities are changing the solar rates and credits, and it's not in your favor. It's estimated that with this new plan, known as NEM 3, new solar customers will lose as much as 75% of the savings that solar provides. That's the bad news. The good news is there's still time to get signed up on the current plan, but you only have until April 15th. So if you've ever thought about going solar or thought about adding on to your current system, now is the time. Call today before it's too late. Solar never has been and never will be as affordable as it is right now. So act today. Visit our website at sunpowerbyqhs.com. That's sunpowerbyqhs.com. Please don't miss out and don't delay. Act today before it's too late.
Don't miss out on the savings. Go to sunpowerbyqhs.com. That's sunpowerbyqhs.com. CSLB 716208.
Valentine's Day is approaching. Has the shopping been handled? You can't go wrong with the right gift card. Hair, nails, massage. It's the gift of beauty and self-confidence, all available in one stop at Fig Garden Village, where you'll find the spa, the medical spa, and Hungry Hair Salon. Whether it's your wife, mom, or daughter, be the hero with a gift card. Good at all 3 locations for any products or services. Stop in today at Shaw and Palm on the east side of Fig Garden Village, or visit the spa at fgv.com.
Do you remember when coming home from a long trip or day at work was like this? Home! If years later coming home is more like this? Home. Meh. It's not neglect, it's life, but you deserve to love coming home again. And that is what Bedrosians does. The latest and most popular tile, stone, engineered wood, laminate, quartz, quartzite, marble, and more. Come into Bedrosians and see how easy it is to get started. Love coming home again with a little help from Bedrosians Tile and Stone in Fresno and Visalia.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number? Not me. Nope. Nuh-uh. Oh no. He's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's California attorneys. 1455 Frazee Road, Suite 500, San Diego, California, 92108. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
Roll to the 2 o'clock hour at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Quick traffic note for those of you out and about right now in the middle of town. Blackstone between Barstow and Shaw. It's a little bit of a mess. In particular, the northbound lanes. As you turn northbound on Blackstone from Shaw, and you go past the past Chesterfields and more furniture and all of that. It is slowed to damn near a stop. It looks like the southbound lanes have started moving again, but especially as you get down in front of Lithius Subaru, Blackstone is just tight as a knot. So if you're out on the road, this might be a real good time to stay out of the area of Blackstone Avenue, especially northbound between Shaw and Barstow here in Fresno. KMJ News team's working on digging up details for you guys. So as soon as I know what's going on out there, we'll get you the latest. So there is, since the shoot down, there's been a recovery effort underway, and they have pulled a bunch of that first Chinese surveillance balloon out of the ocean off South Carolina's coast. They said that the payload measured as much as 30 feet long and had all of the craft's tech gear and antennas, which actually gives you an idea of just how blasted big this thing was, that that payload section was 30 feet long, because that means that you've got probably another 60 to 80 feet of solar panels extending off either side of this thing to power it. It's huge. Now, they had tapped pause at the end of the week because of just rough seas. The weather out there sucks. But they've gotten the bulk of it off of the seafloor. I'm curious to see, now, Canada is still trying to locate the debris of the craft that was shot down over their airspace. And Sunday, there was that object shot down over Lake Huron in Michigan, and they're still looking for the parts that landed on the water there. But because there's, in that case especially, there's a good visual record of where it landed, they're going to get the pieces of that thing out of the water eventually. We already know what the big one was, the first one. We know it was a Chinese spy craft. I'm curious to learn if any of these other craft are support vehicles, if they were intended to be diversionary vehicles, if you've got people putting stuff up in the air just because they want to see an F-16 blow through and knock it out of the sky. I can't imagine China sending that many balloons into American airspace at once, especially given the kind of varied design and apparent potential functionality of these things. Support craft maybe, but it's so inconsistent. It boggles the mind. NORAD is saying that they cannot rule out aliens, which is proof positive that if NORAD doesn't specifically rule out aliens, somebody somewhere is going to go ahead and turn every story about anything that does not include an immediate and comprehensive explanation into little green men. So on a conference call Sunday, Air Force General Glenn Van Herrick was asked whether the United States had ruled out the possibility that the objects spotted and shot down over North America are extraterrestrial in origin. Do these morons have any idea how balloons work? Honest to goodness. You have any earthly clue how a balloon functions? You have any idea how hard it would be to get a craft 100 feet long, most of that length made of extremely breakable, extremely fragile solar panels, relatively speaking? You ever seen the heat tiles that come off of the old space shuttles? But somehow, after perfecting interstellar travel, they're sending up canvas bags full of hot air. I think the only reason that the General Glenn Van Herrick again didn't just laugh at whoever asked that question was because it was an opportunity to sort humanity. From the New York Times article that was published on Sunday, quote, "The incursions seemed to become so common that Biden administration officials have found themselves issuing private assurances that there is no evidence that they involved extraterrestrial activity. But officials also acknowledge privately that the longer they are unable to provide an explanation for the provenance of the objects, more speculation grows." Nobody who is speculating that the Chinese spy balloon or the associated objects came from Mars should be allowed to vote or to breed. This is the new standard. This is it. This is what I want now. If you think that a type 1 civilization, having harnessed the power of its own star so as to eliminate any energy shortage for its entire species, and subsequently designed, developed, and deployed a craft capable of moving through interstellar space at speeds and with accuracy that would allow them to visit a world populated by another, sometimes occasionally one hopes, intelligent species, that they then sent bags of hot air with Chinese-made solar panels to bob around our planet to gather information about technology that could not possibly mean anything more to them than the chemicals deployed by ants to organize their food gathering activities mean to you and I. If that question was uttered in earnest by a reporter, that reporter is no longer allowed to vote or have children. That reporter is making the world dumber by virtue of having suggested it. I think it's possible that we will find out that some of this was spy activity, not just from China, maybe from Russia, maybe from North Korea. I also think it's possible that we'll find out subsequent to the Chinese balloon that some of this was people just goofing around because they wanted to see an F-16 come in fast and hard and blow up the paper mache question mark. There's no aliens in those stupid balloons. It is news time. Here is Gabe Navarro in the KMJ newsroom.
KMJ News now.
The Fresno Police Department announces a series of arrests following a major drug bust within the city.
Detectives from the Fresno Police Major Narcotics Unit spent last week issuing search warrants at a pair of locations in the northeast and northwestern parts of the city. Those busts netted a total of 4 arrests and saw officers seize fentanyl powder and pills and at least 1 stolen handgun. Investigators add these raids were all gang-related, and they encourage anyone with tips on possible drug activity to call them into Valley Crime Stoppers at 498-STOP. Matt Otstadt, KMJ News.
A weekend blaze damages a business in the city of Visalia. Fire crews in that city responded to a home converted into a business on the 500 block of North Locust Street Saturday morning for flames near its front entrance. Visalia Fire knocked down the blaze before it spread into the business, but say the structure sustained moderate damages. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Investigators in the Bay Area continue to process the scene of a fatal blast and fire that investigators believe was an illegal drug manufacturing site. And KTVU's Jana Katsumaya has the story.
53-year-old Darren Price is facing multiple charges, including drug manufacturing, involuntary manslaughter, reckless arson, and 2 counts of child endangerment. Price was arrested Friday evening, 1 day after the fatal explosion and fire in the Sunset District. One woman, the suspect's wife, who neighbors say was disabled, did not make it out of the house. San Francisco police say the arson task force continued processing the scene over the weekend to determine the cause of the blast.
They are still sifting through all of the evidence and have not confirmed the way this explosion may have occurred.
U.S. forces are getting closer to getting the whole truth about the Chinese spy balloon. Fox's Brian Yanes explains.
The weather is much better than this weekend when salvage operations were temporarily suspended because of rough water conditions. Temperatures are in the 60s, 2 to 3 foot seas. But John Kirby just said that naval divers have not been able to get in the water, at least today. They have been able to recover overall over the last 9 days debris, including electronics and some portions of the structure of this Chinese spy aircraft. We did see 4 rigid inflatable boats be launched into the water on their way to the debris field, which is about 6 miles away from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, as they continue their efforts to salvage this spy craft. The recovery here in South Carolina is different than the recovery operations underway for the 3 unidentified objects shot down over the weekend.
And take a look at the closing numbers from Wall Street. The Dow wrapped up trading up 34,245. NASDAQ and the S&P 500 also in the green. Valley weather right now at Radio City, currently 64 degrees, and we expected a high of 65 today. Tonight, some clouds and temperatures will be dropping into the 40s as the National Weather Service has issued a freeze warning effect beginning 2 a.m. Wednesday, extending all the way through Thursday morning. Tonight, some of those clouds drops into the 40s, and tomorrow, cloudy with highs in the mid-50s. A quick look at traffic. We're seeing a backup Blackstone and San Jose. An accident is being reported, and that's causing heavy traffic in that area between Shaw and Barstow Avenues, so please proceed with caution. For news on the hour, on the half, when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Gabe Navarro on News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I sell custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters that are easy to install at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are custom-made for your windows, and I guarantee they'll fit. Don't hire a pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The children's music and dance teacher who couldn't cha-cha.
I was always on my feet. It was just so painful.
Elisa couldn't let her students down, so she stepped up and went to the Good Feet store for personally fitted arch supports.
I would work an entire day, and my feet didn't hurt at the end of the day. That was when I knew, wow, these are different.
But the really good part?
It's good to be dancing together again.
Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Step into your Good Feet store in Fresno, Merced, and Visalia. Good Feet, the official arch support of Fresno State Athletics.
Turn to the experts with Carrier.
The following takes place in the warehouse at All Britain Heating and Air.
Okay, guys, balance it on top. Careful.
Eddie?
Oh, hey, Andrea.
Hey, aren't you stacking those heaters up kind of high?
I know, but look. We're out of room in here for all these heaters.
Yeah, you're stacking them like Dr. Seuss.
We had to pre-order a lot of these last year during the COVID delays.
Right. Then all the orders came in, but at the same time.
What are we gonna do?
Well, I guess we'll give away some heaters.
Announcing the free brewery furnace giveaway at Albritton.
Free brewery?
Sure. Our slow season is the very best time to let Albritton replace your old AC unit with a powerful, modern, energy-efficient system. And your new heater is free of charge.
Free brewery!
Because I need to keep my team busy and happy, you get our lowest prices of the year.
Plus, we can install your new system right away.
Your comfort instantly goes up,
while your energy bills go down.
The February furnace giveaway is on, only at Albritton. Online at ALLBRITTEN.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you earn doubled. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all doubled. Seriously, though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Check out Duarte Nursery's World Ag Expo booth, K24, and meet local representatives for more information on the Yorizani almond, the Bennett Hickman almond, and budded pistachios.
Bring your friends and family to Castle Air Museum in Atwater and check out almost 80 vintage military aircraft exhibits open daily from 9 to 4. Check out castleairmuseum.org.
This is KMJ Ag Director Don York inviting you to join me for this year's World Ag Expo February 14th through the 16th. The World Ag Expo this year is live with seminars, demonstrations, and more. To visit the show, just go to worldagexpo.com. The KMJ Ag Reports are brought to you by Fresno Equipment, your John Deere dealer. Visit them at fresnoequipment.com. Andros, see the most innovative irrigation equipment at booth N46 and Barnes Welding Supplies, serving California since 1949.
Teresi tackles Fresno and California issues every day. Philip Teresi on News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
2:40 on your afternoon drive. I'm Philip Teresi. This is News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Phone's open for your calls, 490-5858. Toll free, you can join us at 800-776-5858. There is, I think, the usual back and forth about the Super Bowl. We had a couple of relatives who were losing their minds over Rihanna's performance. Like 2 minutes in, they were just completely bent out of shape by it. I thought it was fine. That's not really my genre. Her peak of popularity is pretty well after any interest I had in consuming pop music. That said, I did recognize most of what she played, which probably speaks volumes about how much she's accomplished and how ubiquitous she has become as an artist, that I knew what was going on. Likewise with the commercials, AOC, Ocasio-Cortez, the distinguished representative from New York, got really bent out of shape about the proselytizing spots, the Jesus came for us spots. I want to spend a minute on those. But first, Chris Stapleton is getting just an incredible amount of praise for his rendition of the national anthem last night. And I think it's a pretty cool thing for people to get excited about. Check this out. If you didn't get to hear it, if you tuned in a little bit late to the game, and you missed this, people are comparing it to the Whitney Houston national anthem. And I don't know if there's a higher bar than that in terms of popular musicians performing the anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular amongst birds singing out, yeah, through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the
Not bad. And the flyover immediately at the conclusion. By the way, some pilots from NAS Lemoore in that team that flew over the first all-female flyover at the Super Bowl, celebrating 50 years of women in American military aviation. I think it was a beautiful rendition. It was as different from Whitney Houston's as it could possibly be and still be the exact same song. It was a brilliant version. I think the hype is justified. I think that the reception that he got for this is it the greatest performance of the anthem of all time? I think that's subjective. I really do. I think it's subjective. Is it an exceptional performance? Yeah, he moved people to tears. If you didn't see this, and by the way, you can go. NFL's got it up on YouTube, so I'll post the link so you guys can check it out at your leisure. Boy, talk about two people that you probably couldn't put in a room together and get a civil word between them. Juanita Broderick, the former the author and Bill Clinton accuser, said it will never be done better. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Chris Stapleton just sang the most beautiful national anthem at the Super Bowl. Parker McCullum, another country singer, said Chris Stapleton is the greatest singer of all time, and you can't change my mind. It was definitely one of the best. And then there's the folks who say the only one that they think it falls shy of was Whitney Houston's version at the 1991 Super Bowl, which was a particularly politically charged moment. That was right as the Persian Gulf War was getting rolling. But yeah, those shots of Jason Kelsey, one of the linemen from the Eagles, if you're not keeping up, tears just running down his face. Really well done. Really, really well done. One of the folks on Twitter popped up saying, Chris Stapleton should have been named the MVP. No kidding. Now, we've only got a second here, but I want to try and set this up because we're going to talk about it when we get back. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, that distinguished representative from the state of New York, didn't like the He Gets Us organization's Super Bowl ads. AOC tweeted, quote, "Something tells me Jesus would not spend millions of dollars on Super Bowl ads to make fascism look benign." Now, I saw the ad. I'm pretty sure you saw the ad. She and I did not see the same ad. We'll play it when we get back, and I know there's a little bit of a loss there because there is an essential visual component to this. But I just want to give it another look because I don't know how Patsy Cline connects to fascism. I don't know how Matthew 18:3 connects to fascism. And sometimes I just think that this broad likes to get mad. The Performance Artist Caucus. More on this when we get back on the afternoon drive at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle, and my company is Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 to provide custom blinds, shades, and shutters at affordable prices. Our blinds are easy to install and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive professional. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
And now a small business setback, set to smooth jazz.
It's late. You're driving in the rain with only one thing on your mind. The deer about to total your HVAC van. But with Progressive's 30-plus customizable coverage options, you're covered. The rest is just saxophone.
When running your small business gets rough, Progressive Commercial is there to smooth it out. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Twinkly sound.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage and discounts not available for all vehicles or states. Policy terms and conditions apply.
Chris, this needs to go to Parkville by 3.
Joy to the holiday packages that keep coming at Jimenez Couriers.
It's coming your way, but the drop-off location is changing.
She needs delivery drivers with the gift of punctuality.
Anyone looking to pick up some overtime? Anyone?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, this is Julie Vogt with Roger Vogt's Performance Auto Diesel and Air, your dealership alternative, proudly serving the Central Valley for more than 46 years. We have the expert staff and diagnostic capabilities to take care of whatever type of vehicle you drive: gas, diesel, flex fuel, car, truck, SUV, RV, or motor coach. We're proud to be a AAA approved facility, a GM and Ford quality installer with a nationwide 2-year or 24,000 mile warranty program. From routine maintenance services to diagnostics and major repairs, even Titan auxiliary fuel tank installations. If you've even thought about a performance upgrade, ask for JJ, our performance expert. Air conditioning repairs and part sales? We do that. We offer a courtesy shuttle service. Vehicle pickup and delivery is also available. Call Rose and she'll happily take care of the rest. 635-3288. That's 635-3288. Roger Vo's Performance Auto Diesel and Air. The best thing about living in Visalia.
Here's the unfiltered truth about water softeners. Softeners add sodium without filtering water. Softeners are old-fashioned, costly, and maintenance-heavy. There's a better solution, a LifeSource salt-free water system. LifeSource systems provide filtered, delicious water from every tap without filters or any maintenance. LifeSource salt-free systems are perfect for areas banning softeners, and that's the unfiltered truth. Call 559-330-1850 for a free consultation, or visit LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource, taste and feel the difference.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number? Not me. Nope. Nuh-uh. Oh no. He's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's California attorneys. 1455 Frazee Road, Suite 500, San Diego, California, 92108. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
World Ag Expo is back. See the latest and greatest in agriculture February 14th through the 16th at the International Agri Center in Tulare. See the top 10 new products, sit in on a seminar, test drive a Toyota truck, watch a livestock demonstration. Admissions $20 at the gate, or buy tickets now at worldagexpo.com. Use code ULTRA for $3 off each ticket online. For more information, visit worldagexpo.com. That's worldagexpo.com. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra and Bueno Beverage Company.
Start your morning with news and the truth. Fresno's Morning News, 6 to 9 a.m. on KMJ and streaming at KMJNow.com.
Rolling up on 3 o'clock on your afternoon drive at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Talking about Super Bowl stuff. And the reaction from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She did not like the Christian organization He Gets Us, or rather, I suppose she didn't like the spots that they spent money on. There was 2 spots that they bought. One was a 30-second, actually a very cute spot. Lots of kids, lots of dogs. Patsy Cline, the soundtrack for that, If I Could See the World Through the Eyes of a Child. And again, called for Americans to be childlike in reference to Christ's command that Christians should have the faith of a child. The 60-second version might have been a little spicier. The song by Rag and Bone Man, Human, with a montage of images. Again, I'm going to share the link so you guys can take a look at it. But for a minute of your time here, it's a good song. I'm going to describe to you what I'm seeing as we're cruising through here. And we start with a woman screaming at a bus passenger. Big guy leaning over the counter at a chicken and waffles joint. A lady screaming at a guy in a cowboy hat. 2 neighbors arguing. Fighting a high school stairwell. Looks like a kid screaming at a biker. Liberty over lockdown versus a guy in a crosswalk with a mask on. It's like two fight promoters. A kerfuffle on an airplane. Looked like J6 protesters versus hippies. Two women in a park yelling. A fight in the stands. Little League fight. Looking at Antifa beat down. Jesus loved the people we hate. He gets us. All of us. Jesus. HeGetsUs.com/loveyourenemies. That's the spot. I do not, for the life of me, understand how a commercial seeking grace and suggesting that people be more Christ-like and find love in their hearts for the people that they disagree with is an effort to make fascism look benign. If anything, wouldn't that be steering us in the opposite direction? If anything, wouldn't a reintroduction of morality, of standards of human decency, of a priority placed on using the largesse and the blessings that we as a society have amassed to create a more harmonious future for all of our people? Wouldn't that be exactly what Jesus was gunning for? Not socialism, but just basic human decency, the benefit of the doubt. And doesn't that cut both ways? I feel like there's a sermon in this somewhere. In fact, I'm pretty sure Jesus did one or two about exactly that. Which brings me back around to people who are dumb enough to think that there's UFOs visiting the Earth in the guise of hot air balloons. Maybe we shouldn't let them vote. More and more, I'm thinking that maybe we should encourage the people in New York to not continue to reward Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for being not just one of the youngest, but clearly one of the dumbest people in the House of Representatives. It's News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. We got an update of headlines on the way with Jim Miller, a look at traffic with Ron McCary, and Hour 2's on the way on KMJ. Don't move.
Missed part of the show? Get the Afternoon Drive podcast at KMJNow.com or by searching KMJ's Afternoon Drive in Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Hey there, Charlie. You look down. What's up?
That steam cleaner's busted. Again.
Jeez, I don't know what you plan to do, but you need to get it fixed right this time.
Thought we were getting it fixed right the last time.
Well, have you tried calling A&E?
Well, I didn't buy it from A&E.
Doesn't matter. A&E can get it fixed, no matter where you got it. From what I heard, they're the best.
Oh, good to know.
Hey, call A&E. They'll get out here and get us back up and running right away. And maybe it's time to get a new steam cleaner. Go by there and get a look at their selection.
A&E Pressure Washers on the 99 between North and Cedar, just south of Kuchenbecker Tractor. Look for the big blue sign. For water recycling systems, steam cleaners, and of course, pressure washers, give A&E a call at 275-3891 or visit aefresno.com. And for your service needs, no matter where you bought it, call A&E at 275-3891. 275-3891.
Attention Fresno, another massive rate increase. Declare your energy independence from the utility company. If you've ever thought about going solar, you must go solar right now. You can go solar with Semper Solaris, your local and veteran-owned solar contractor. They'll get the job done with esprit de corps and honor. Imagine no money out of pocket and no payments until 2024. That's no utility bill and no payments all year. Keep your money in your pocket and go solar American style with Semper Solaris. Worried about blackouts? Tesla Powerwall and Enphase batteries are in stock. Call 559-242-1800. Not sure about your roof? Semper's an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Contractor. Upgrade to Owens Corning 50-year warranty for free. Grab the 30% solar federal tax credit. $500 downloadable coupon, $500 off for military and first responders. Plus, 0 down, 0% interest, and 0 payments until 2024. For all offers, call 559-242-1800 or visit sempersolaris.com. On approved credit, expires 2/28/2023. CSLB number 978152.
Asthma symptoms can attack anywhere, like on a city street. Now, you can get fast relief anywhere with new improved Primatene Mist, the only FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. So whether you need relief of symptoms at the park or at your kitchen table, Primatene Mist starts working quickly, opening up your airways to restore free breathing. For temporary relief of mild symptoms of intermittent asthma, use Primatene Mist and breathe easy again. Available at CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens. Use as directed.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
The original KMJ, 580 AM, 105.9 FM, Fresno, a Cumulus media station.
It's 3 o'clock in Fresno. Good afternoon. I'm Jim Miller in the KMJ News Center. Here's what's happening. A Fresno grocery store closed today after it nearly burnt down in a fire. The King's Food Market on California and Waterman Avenues went up in flames on Saturday morning. Crews arrived to find heavy smoke and had difficulty getting inside due to metal bars in the structure of the building. They eventually cut a hole in the roof. Officials say the store badly damaged. All the food's a total loss. No word if or when that store is going to reopen. A driver arrested at follows a fatal weekend DUI crash in Fresno County that left a teenager dead.
The Highway Patrol says this all happened just before 5:30 Sunday morning on Elkhorn west of Jameson in Riverdale. There, officers say the driver of a pickup truck with 3 others inside was speeding when they did not make a curve in the road and rolled the vehicle over multiple times. Both the driver and a 16-year-old passenger were ejected, with the teen ultimately dying from their injuries at the scene. The 2 other passengers in the truck suffered minor injuries, while the driver has since been arrested for felony DUI and manslaughter. Ruth Michaels, KMJ News.
Middle school in Parler is grieving over the loss of a 7th grader. Counselors are on hand today to help students and staff cope after Fernanda Perez Elamada was hit and killed by a car on Friday night. The 13-year-old in a crosswalk, and she headed home from school near Amigos Drive and Madsen Avenue. The driver stopped and called 911 for help. Investigators don't believe drugs or alcohol were involved in this accident. Healthier school lunches may have helped slow down an increase in childhood obesity. Fox's Chris Foster has more.
The study of 14,000 school children, 5 to 18 years old, finds their body mass index went down slightly every year after the implementation of the Healthy, Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010. That increased the amount of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains required in school meals. The study in the journal JAMA Pediatrics finds the BMI loss was seen in teenagers old enough to buy a la carte school lunches and snacks. The Agriculture Department announced this month updates to school meal standards. Chris Foster, Fox News.
Now the forecast from Fox 26 is Justin Willis.
Seasonable weather for us to start the week. Afternoon highs are in the mid-60s today. Overnight lows are in the upper 30s. A little breezy for your Valentine's Day tomorrow. 15 to 25 mile-an-hour winds and plenty of sunshine. Freeze watch already in effect for Wednesday and Thursday. During that time, we could see temps a few degrees below freezing across the Central Valley overnight. From the Fox 26 Weather Center for KMJ, I'm Justin Willis.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Jim Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
And to look at Monday afternoon traffic, a major problem. Blackstone and San Jose, there was a collision there, 3 vehicles, fatalities involved. Traffic is really slow. It's, in fact, Blackstone is closed off between Shaw and Barstow. In Tulare County, Road 210, State Route 198, an injury accident there. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
It's got a brand new name. It's got a brand new location. The place is so freaking big. Lou Rodman's Patio, Bar Stool, and Amish Emporium. Right next to Fashion Furniture across from Lowe's.
Breaking from the north.
Well, it's nice to have you here.
Philip Teresi.
I'm so glad you could come. I hope you're enjoying it. I think you will.
On News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
3:05 on your afternoon drive at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. You can listen online at kmjnow.com. There you will find our sweet deals, and we got a new one coming up for you this Friday, 9 a.m. We will be giving you half off at the Old Spaghetti Factory. This is another one of those, it's going to sell out, and it's going to sell out quick moments. So if you want to get in on the Old Spaghetti Factory, half off, head over to kmjnow.com. Friday morning, 9 a.m., set an alarm. Be ready to go. I'm stunned. There's still small cakes, cupcakery gift certificates available. Half off there as well. Head over to kmjnow.com, hit the Sweet Deals tab, and Friday, 9 a.m., Old Spaghetti Factory, set an alarm, because that's going to go quick. We've got another one the next week out. Ooh, I think I'm going to have to get in on both of those. If you want to know what I'm talking about, Sweet Deals, kmjnow.com. Again, 490-5858 is the number here, 800-776-5858. In about a half an hour, Congressman David Valadao is going to be joined by Congressman Glenn Thompson out of Pennsylvania. We're going to be talking about the Farm Bill listening session coming up at the World Ag Expo. And if you are interested in talking to Congress about what agriculture needs, this is going to be a great opportunity for you to get in front of a couple of guys that are serious about it and actually moving the ball down the field. Frustratingly, there is a new report on Fresno Unified and the inexcusable semester, almost year-long problem of Computech middle school students arriving late to class every single day. So as of Friday, all but one of the buses got to school on time. Before, over 200 kids were arriving late, anywhere from a few minutes to well over a half an hour, 5 days a week. In this article, they quote Fresno Unified School District trustee Keisha Thomas. She represents the Edison region of the district where Computech is located. And Keisha Thomas is quoted as saying, "I couldn't be more happy with how things have transitioned. I'm sad it took so long." Now remember, this is the same trustee who wouldn't return phone calls from the school site council, from parents, or from KMJ. She didn't want to talk about it, and she kept making excuses about why she couldn't talk about it. And when she did finally show up to talk about it, she showed up to the interview that took her, I think, 2.5 weeks to agree to, 25 minutes late. She had an opportunity to talk to all of you. Computech parents, Fresno Unified parents, property taxpayers, Fresno County voters. And she didn't think that was important enough to get here on time. But she's sad that it took so long to solve the problem. So then the Fresno Bee reports accurately that district leaders met with the bus drivers union and other staff to make adjustments to the routes. The implementation was a week ago today. Keisha Thomas, again talking to the Fresno Bee, says everybody was able to work together for the greater good. I'm very happy with that, and I just want to keep doing it. Then why didn't we do this in August? Then the Fresno Bee reports the causes of the problem were many. Anything from bus driver shortages to new state mandates adjusting school start times. Crap. If you could get the kids to school on time last Monday, you could have gotten them to school on time last September. As a magnet school enrolling students from all over the city, Computech faced transportation challenges unique from other schools. Yes, and they know that because they didn't open their doors this year. They just had an adjusted schedule this year. And then there's this. How does it affect the kids? It can ruin their day. What the hell are you talking about? You've got kids walking into class late. You're not ruining their day. You're robbing them of their education. And by the way, you're disrupting the educational process for every other kid in that class. Because whether the teacher has to stop, let that kid into the classroom, whether the teacher has to restart their lesson, whether those kids have to focus on busy work while that teacher reteaches what has been covered in class so far. Oh, and by the way, any of those kids who rely on the school for the free and reduced price breakfasts, which in Fresno Unified, every single student's entitled to because of the poverty rate in our city, any of the kids who are dependent upon the school for breakfast, if they want breakfast, they just have to choose to miss more class. And that, by the way, comes from the district chief of communications. The district contracts with outside vendor First Student to provide door-to-door pickup services for students in special education with moderate to severe disabilities. Particularly at the beginning of the year, First Student buses were dropping off kids up to 2 hours late. This coming from special education teachers. They're saying that some of these kids were getting picked up hours late as well. The observations then made that Fresno Unified families and staff have spoken up about transportation delays, particularly along special ed routes, and the toll that it takes on students. First Student confirmed it's also struggling with staffing shortages this year, which are affecting its routes, but the company's working on solutions. If you can't do the job, if this contractor can't do the job, hire another contractor. This school district has over $700 million in ESSER funds, one-time pandemic relief payments. This school district could very easily afford to have every one of these kids Ubered to school if they simply pulled themselves together and acted with deliberation and will. But they're not doing that. You've got hundreds of kids getting to school late every day. You've got a trustee who's getting a back rub from the local paper over a problem that should have been solved 5 months ago. You've got an attaboy for the union that allowed this problem to continue, the SEIU 521. The union is taking this very hands-off, oh, well, it was up to Fresno Unified Management to approve route changes and mitigate delays. And I have to say, the SEIU is right. It's on the school district to work that out and to give these employees their marching orders. Because the absolute bottom line is, if you aren't there to get the kids where they need to be when they need to be there, you don't belong in that line of work, and I don't give a damn if you work for a union. Take your entitled union crap down the road to Greyhound and let me know how it goes. Bob Nelson, the superintendent, a man who is paid nearly as much as the President of the United States of America. That's not a joke. Bob Nelson is making nearly $400,000 a year after bonuses and extras. And Bob Nelson announced on February 8th, a committee has been formed to review routes. That should have been done a month before the school year started. You knew that school start times were going to change. That change isn't Fresno Unified's fault. It's the morons in Sacramento's fault. And if Fresno Unified, at a week into the school year, had gone to the parents and said, holy smokes, this change in school times has screwed us up. All of our transportation is just a disaster. We are going to do everything that we can for these kids. And in the meantime, we're going to dig into our ESSER funds to make sure that every child gets to school on time. But it's going to take us 30 days to simply iron this out because it's a mess. And we have to untangle this knot piece by piece so that every student in Fresno Unified's needs are met. That would have bought them a month or two of grace. Instead, they didn't return phone calls. They didn't answer requests from the media. And until the school site council finally lost its temper with being ignored and poo-pooed and went to the media, they weren't going to do anything. They were going to let children go hungry. They were going to let children lose educational hours and opportunities. And now we've got a newspaper that is not talking to the school site council, apparently, is not talking to Computech parents, and doesn't seem to be prepared to ask Keisha Thomas or Bob Nelson why they didn't do all of these lovely things 5 months ago. I don't know why the paper isn't asking them those questions. I don't know why, if they asked those questions and didn't get an answer, they won't say so. I don't know why we keep electing and allowing people like this to hold office, to be appointed, and to continue to fail our kids. It's the third largest school district inside the world's fifth largest economy, and it's a bunch of self-congratulating clowns doing nothing and then lapping up the press when random parents get involved to force a solution. This is shameful.
And both northbound and southbound Blackstone from Shaw Avenue north to Barstow Avenue will be closed for several hours as an investigation is being held into the cause of a 3-vehicle fatal accident which occurred near the corner of Blackstone and San Jose. So avoid that area if at all possible. You will be sent on a detour if you try to go through there. In Tulare County, Road 210 and State Route 198, there's been an injury accident there. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I sell custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters that are easy to install at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are custom-made for your windows, and I guarantee they'll fit. Don't hire a pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Looking for a new dining and beverage experience? Come check out Genesis Bistro at the northeast corner of Cedar and Nice in Fresno, where the chef's cuisine along with our mixologist's full cocktail and wine bar are getting people talking. Open for lunch and dinner, make your next meal with friends or family at Genesis Bistro, a one-of-a-kind experience. Also a great place to host a special event or celebration meal. To reserve an event, call 559-314-8284. Are you a talented hairstylist looking for a change? Check out 8028 Salon at Cedar and Nice, where we have open stations available and a move-in special. 8028 Salon offers a unique location and atmosphere for you and your clients. Elegantly located next to Genesis Bistro, your clients will have full options to enjoy food and drinks during service. 8028 Salon only has a few open stations left. Give your talents as a stylist the location you deserve at 8028 Salon. Inquire today at the location, northeast corner of Cedar and Nice in Fresno.
Lon Hanna here, talking cow care. The folks at Evans Feed know that this is a critical time of year to keep your cows healthy. If you're thinking about cutting back on your supplement programs, Mother Nature already has. Remember, it's up to you to help increase money in your calf check. Take care of your cows with Megalick Tubs by New Generation Supplements. You'll see improved performance, body condition, conception, and weaning weights, plus more disease resistance. So take care of your cows and they'll take care of you. See your Evans Feed Megalick distributor today in Madera, Chowchilla, and Porterville.
Mr. World here, about to take the plunge on the world's fastest roller coaster. I hope it's as fast as the in-store labs at Eyeglass World. When you drop in there, they make your glasses the same day. You should give it a whirl. Just remember to keep your hands and feet inside the Eyeglass World at all times.
Get 2 pairs of glasses for $89. Fast at Eyeglass World, the world's best way to buy glasses. Visit eyeglassworld.com to schedule your exam online and for offer details.
Family traditions. Where did they go? The days of gathering around the table with your family and friends and an abundance of delicious food in a warm, comfortable atmosphere. Well, that tradition lives on at the Old Spaghetti Factory. For nearly 50 years, the Old Spaghetti Factory has been serving the Central Valley fresh pasta in Italian dishes. Dine in their signature trolley car and enjoy their deliciously affordable 3-course meals, or grab a drink from their classically decorated bar. The Old Spaghetti Factory is perfect for families and groups, and fantastic catering and banquets are available. The Old Spaghetti Factory is located on Shaw near Cedar, or visit osf.com. The Old Spaghetti Factory, where tradition lives on. As a way of saying thank you to our KMJ listeners, we're offering a $50 gift certificate for $25. Just go to kmjnow.com this Friday and click on Sweet Deals.
Is your well almost dry, or is it dry? Are you on a waiting list to have a well drilled? Have you been turned away from other drilling companies who can't handle the hard rock drilling conditions in your area? Strickland Well Drilling is here for you. With over 2 decades of experience specializing in residential, agricultural, and hard rock drilling, Strickland Well Drilling proudly serves Fresno, Tulare, Kings, and Madera counties. Don't wait. Make the call today at 352-7228. Again, 352-7228. Or for more information, visit StricklandWellDrilling.com. Whether it's the soft sandy soils of the west, the clay and cobble of the east, or the hard rock mountainous terrain, Strickland Well Drilling has the equipment and expertise to handle your individual water well needs. Access to clean water is vital, and Strickland Well Drilling knows you can't afford to wait. Call for a no-cost detailed estimate today at 352-7228. Strickland Well Drilling, dedicated to keep the valley flowing. Make the call today, 352-7228, or visit StricklandWellDrilling.com.
This is KMJ Ag Director Don York inviting you to join me for this year's World Ag Expo, February 14th through the 16th. The World Ag Expo this year is live with seminars, demonstrations, and more. To visit the show, just go to worldagexpo.com. The KMJ Ag Reports are brought to you by Lawrence Tractor, your John Deere dealer. Peckway is the best orchard and vineyard spreaders for any application, big or small. AM Sharp and Golden State Peterbilt, the transportation people.
It's your afternoon drive at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. I'm Philip Teresi. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to be talking with Congressmember David Valadao and Congressman Glenn Thompson. It's out of Pennsylvania. There's a Farm Bill listening session coming up at the World Ag Expo, and these guys want to hear from you. So we'll talk about how you can get involved and what's required. What exactly are they trying to lean into here? I know that both of these guys have a lot of balls in the air, and it's a unique opportunity to sit down with a couple members of Congress that are serious about improving things for agriculture. Right now, talking about Fresno Unified School District and some of the just endless frustration of trying to get this school district to get it right. The newest trustee on the Fresno Unified School Board, Susan Wittrup, This is the woman who prevailed over Terry Sladek in November. Tell me if this doesn't sound familiar. The trustee from the Bullard area says district administration needs to respond more quickly to trustee queries and not to sanitize information by putting a positive spin on it. Anybody? Anybody? Does it sound familiar to anybody? Trustee Wittrup's comments came during the board superintendent communication portion of last week's school board meeting. She prefaced her remarks by praising district staff and school board members as smart and supportive people who, quote, want the best for the kids. She then went on to slam the administration for hamstringing trustees by holding up information that keeps them from making informed decisions in a timely fashion. Wittrup enumerates some of the requests that she has made, asking about Wawona Middle School and campus assistant training. And, oh, look, everybody, the late bus is at Computech Middle School. Wittrup says that her queries have gone either unanswered or have been, she's been on the receiving end of incomplete responses. She then says, quote, I know that there are cultural barriers to progress that exist in bureaucratic systems like public school districts that must be made conscious and intentionally changed. There is also a culture around sanitizing information so that it sounds more positive and or completely ignoring the specific information requested. This is a cultural mindset specific to Fresno Unified, and it needs to change. The correct mindset should be an urgency towards open communication and having the courage, and it does take courage, to face the sometimes ugly facts of the situation so that we can move rapidly to improve the educational outcomes for our students. Is it safer for her to say it because she's not wearing a Marines lanyard? I'm not mad at Trustee Wittrup. Honest to God, I'm not. So far, I mean, this is really the most coverage that the trustee has received since she's been elected to that office, and I'm having a hard time with what's coming out of her mouth. It just sounds so gosh darn familiar. Wittrup then made a motion to set a 10-day deadline for administration to respond to trustee queries, or to supply a progress report on responses within that same time period. There was no second to the motion, and the board counsel popped up to say, hey, that could violate the Brown Act, which requires public notice of board actions. He also said that this could be referred to the board bylaws committee, which is scheduled to meet this week. Mrs. Wittrup's, Dr. Wittrup's comments were quickly hailed by the Fresno Teachers Association in a Facebook post. They're saying, shout out to Trustee Wittrup for speaking truth about the reluctance of Fresno Unified's management to lean into issues and situations which need to be addressed. One parent referenced Superintendent Nelson's often repeated credo of so-called militant positivity. She said militant positivity dismisses the true needs of our staff, students, and families. It's time for Fresno Unified to address the real issues instead of covering everything with a layer of icing and sprinkles. And then here we go again with the communications chief for Fresno Unified not being much of a communicator. If you didn't know this, Nikki Henry doesn't take phone calls. She doesn't do interviews. She only responds to written questions via email. And unfortunately, Bob Nelson seems to like to shelter behind that when it's time for something that doesn't fit into his militant positivity scheme. But Nikki Henry says, Bob Nelson says through Nikki Henry via email, because nobody talks to anybody out loud anymore, providing formal responses to any trustee's query in a timely manner is absolutely important. We believe 10 days or an update as to why the response may take longer is reasonable. Today, the board bylaws subcommittee will take that up in their meeting and formalize a timeline for formal requests. The comments regarding sanitizing information are more complex. We can take the Computech Transportations as an example. Generally speaking, our community is interested in the issue being fixed. Everybody except the Board of Trustees and the superintendent wants the kids to get to school on time. Not understanding the minutia of the complexities resulting in the issue. Doesn't matter. Take the kids to school on time. If it's complex, use ESSER funds to untie the knot temporarily. In that situation, there's contract implications that have to be worked through collaboratively with our labor partners, and that takes time. No. You have to get the kids to school on time, and if your labor partners aren't willing to cooperate because of some pre-existing agreement with the union, then fire them and hire somebody who will get the kids to school on time. All right, we got to take a break. When we get back, we'll be talking with Congressman Thompson out of Pennsylvania, Congressman Valadeo out of the South Valley. They've got a Farm Bill listening session coming up at the World Ag Expo this week. We're going to find out what exactly they're working on and what issues exactly they want to hear about from you.
KMJ News now.
It's 3:30 in Fresno. Good afternoon. I'm Jim Miller in the KMJ News Center. Two Navy pilots based out of Lemoore headed home after making history at the Super Bowl Sunday. They joined in yesterday's flyover before the big game in Arizona, calling it an honor to help mark 50 years of women flying across the nation. The lieutenants did a practice run Friday, then soared in the diamond formation as the elite team of squadrons. This was the first time ever the four military jets were piloted by all women. More than 35,000 have died, but one week after the earthquake in Turkey and Syria, survivors still being found, Fox's Jonathan Savage reports.
The commotion and the applause tell you all you need to know. After 182 hours in the rubble, a survivor has been pulled out alive. It's a 13-year-old boy, Khan, holding the hand of one of his rescuers. He's carried to an ambulance. That was in Hatay province. In Kahramanmaraş, a 10-year-old girl and a 35-year-old woman have somehow survived. Teams from Turkey and abroad, from coal miners to sniffer dogs, keep up the search. But as the body count rises, hope fades with every hour. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
The Fresno Art Museum debuting its winter and spring exhibitions. Four of them open on Saturday. One includes a retrospective from a local architect. Another is from an internationally known sculptor based in Oakland. The third is an original exhibition of the museum. And the fourth features two California artists. Visitors can check out the collection through June the 25th. Now the forecast from Fox 26 is Justin Willis.
Seasonable weather for us to start the week. Afternoon highs are in the mid-60s today. Overnight lows are in the upper 30s. A little breezy for your Valentine's Day tomorrow. 15 to 25 mile an hour winds and plenty of sunshine. Freeze watch already in effect for Wednesday and Thursday. During that time, we could see temps a few degrees below freezing across the Central Valley overnight. From the Fox 26 Weather Center for KMJ, I'm Justin Willis.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Jim Miller for News Talk 580. 105.9 KMJ.
And taking a look at traffic, a major problem on North Blackstone. This is between Shaw and Barstow. There was a fatal accident at the corner of Blackstone and East San Jose. Investigators are on the scene, and last report, both northbound and southbound Blackstone was closed down because of that. Tulare County Road 210, State Route 198. There's been an injury accident, and Drive 140 and Avenue 24 in Tulare County, there has been a collision with no injuries. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle, and my company is Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 to provide custom blinds, shades, and shutters at affordable prices. Our blinds are easy to install and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive professional. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
I would like to tell you about Crawdaddies to Go. Ooh, that's something new, right? Now, it doesn't mean that the Crawdads are going to be playing every hit that they know in your living room, although that'd be kind of a gas, right? Just for you people who like to dine at home, Crawdaddies has put together a super menu of to-go items. These are some Crawdaddies masterpieces from the kitchen, They're $12 a pop. Example, 4 people are eating at home for $48. Okay, just so what are you going to be eating? How about Louisiana red beans and rice, chicken Alfredo, pasta jambalaya? Oh, that's a good one. And New Orleans spaghetti and meatballs. Now, what sense does that make? Hey, in New Orleans, there's a massive Italian community, and they've come together with the locals and come up with this spectacular crawdaddies to go, crawdaddies to take away, crawdaddies to eat on the couch there in front of the TV, whatever you want to call it. Order by calling 559-625-5300, 625-5300.
Got a cybersecurity problem? For security breaches, network penetration testing, regulatory compliance, and incident response. Breadcrumb Cybersecurity. Breadcrumb, because evidence is everywhere.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Hiring can be a headache. That's why there's Indeed, the hiring platform that removes the hassle. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates. And you can schedule and conduct video interviews right on their site. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Hello, it's Ben from Clovis Mattress, and I wanted to take a moment to say a big thank you to all of our customers who booked appointments with us after hearing us on KMJ. It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you and welcoming you to the Clovis Mattress family. Your feedback about our service and our mattresses has been amazing to hear. For those of you that haven't yet had a chance to book an appointment, we've got a special deal for you. For a limited time, we're offering to pay the sales tax on any purchase you make at Clovis Mattress, including our new introductory line, with twins starting at $169, queens starting at $259, and kings starting at $289. So don't wait. Either visit clovismattress.com or give us a call at 559-500-2222. That's 559-500-2222 to book a personal appointment with one of our sleep specialists. Because remember, at Clovis Mattress, we're not just selling you a locally made mattress, we're selling you a great night's sleep. Buy local, support local at Clovis Mattress.
Commercial Radiator, your full-service repair shop for large industrial radiators, ag equipment, or to keep your fleet on the road. That's Commercial Radiator.
Teresi. Streaming live on Alexa, Google Home, and everything else. Philip Teresi on KMJ.
Roll to the 3 o'clock hour of a Monday afternoon at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. Listen online at kmjnow.com. And if you miss any part of the show, don't forget, you can always get the podcast after the show at kmjnow.com. Joining me now, Chairman Thompson is the descendant of a long line of dairy farmers. He's a lifelong resident of Howard Township in Center County in Pennsylvania. He was elected to the House of Representatives in 2008. Congressman Thompson represents Pennsylvania's 15th district, and he is a proud and active member of the House Committee on Agriculture and has been for more than a decade. Chairman Thompson joins us along with Congressman David Valadao. Gentlemen, welcome to KMJ. Hello.
Hey, Phil, thank you so much.
So you've got a listening session at the World Ag Expo tomorrow, correct? You guys are going to be down in Tulare.
Oh, that's right. We've got a 10 a.m. Listening session. It's scheduled for tomorrow. It's a Farm Bill listening session. This is really important that, I'm proud to join Congressman Valadao. David's been a good friend and a great colleague, a real ag advocate. And we're going to be hosting, we've got 10 members, including the Speaker of the House. I don't know if there's ever been a Farm Bill listening session where we've actually had a Speaker of the House. I think we're making a little history tomorrow. But we're at 10 a.m. at the Heritage Complex Banquet Hall.
I understand that the function of this, broadly speaking, is to hear from agriculture in the United States, and the World Ag Expo is a great place to get everybody together at once. What specifically in the world of ag, because this is really about the implementation of the so-called Farm Bill, and this is that every half a decade you have to go through and reauthorize this. Are you guys going to have a chance to talk about water policy? Are you going to have a chance to talk about food security? Is there going to be an opportunity to talk about Congressman Valadao's effort to not allow the Chinese Communist government to buy up farmland?
Well, tomorrow we're going to use what God has given us. So we're looking to use mostly 2 ears and 1 mouth, to tell you the truth. Tomorrow is called a listening session, and that's on purpose. And that's so that we can hear about all those, and I suspect we're going to hear about all those issues that you just named, and a whole lot more. This is an amazing part of our country in terms of specialty crops, but it's also amazing in terms of the size of our dairies, which obviously Congressman Valadao and his family, we share that dairy farming heritage. So we're really here to hear what's on the minds of those folks who will be in attendance. This is a chance for us to bring the voices of California agriculture. And you're right, this is a World Expo, so we may get some input from other parts of the country and the world, but really leaning heavily on what are the folks here that provide us food and fiber in California. What are their needs and observations regarding that Farm Bill legislation that expires the end of September? So we have to get it reauthorized by then.
Congressman Valadao, this is in your backyard. For the folks who want to attend and want to contribute, what would you tell folks to be ready to present to you, to say to you? I mean, you're not expecting people to show up with PowerPoint presentations, but what do folks need to have in hand?
Well, we've been sending out emails. We've put stuff on social media. We've been reaching out to all the stakeholders in the industry all over the country. And so we're going to have people from all over, but we're trying to focus mostly on what's grown here locally, which is already a huge amount of different types of commodities. Because the chairman's this isn't his last one. This is his first one. He's got more areas to go to around the country. But the goal is to try to get as many of these folks in there. And I think the positive is if you get the dairy groups coming in, you get whatever specialty crop, and you get some of the row crops, like your corn or whoever else come in, at least everyone will be in the room. They could all hear what everyone is asking for. Because, the chairman got a tough job ahead of him because the current Farm Bill expires at the end of September, so September 30th. And we've got to balance a lot of interests. We've got to try to make a farm bill that ensures food security, ensures that our farmers continue to be competitive around the world and continue to grow the fruits and vegetables that we desperately need. And it's important that everyone is at the table, everyone knows what everyone else is asking for, and that we're having an open and transparent process. And tomorrow's going to be Republicans and Democrats, but there's already a lot of people who have signed up to present their ideas and what they'd like to see changed in the current Farm Bill. So tomorrow, I'm sorry, go ahead, Chairman.
Well, Phil, I was going to also say, and anybody who comes in attendance, we're obviously we're going to be limited in terms of folks who are going to be able to provide their oral testimony, but you know what? We're always looking to get that written input, and we'll have means there. We'll have some, quite frankly, a QR code and a link where folks can go online and submit their observations or concerns, regarding American agriculture, or thoughts or inputs, or hopefully their homegrown solutions, as I like to call it. And we'll also have we'll have the old-fashioned paper and pencil there that will be available for folks who just want to fill out something and submit there. So there will be a process and a method for everyone in attendance to be able to weigh in on American agriculture and specifically this Farm Bill.
I'm talking with Chairman Glenn Thompson, Congressman David Valadao. Other members of Congress will be joining them tomorrow at a Farm Bill listening session. It's going to run from 10 a.m. to about noontime at the World Ag Expo in the Heritage Complex Banquet Hall. And we'll post a link, so if you want to attend, you can find exactly where to be. Gentlemen, I know that you've already laid a lot of groundwork on this, and this is an opportunity for you to really hone in on what your constituents want. Coming from opposite sides of the countries and in some ways very, very different circumstances in your agricultural communities, where do you see potential for conflict? Where do you see potential for unity in agriculture on this Farm Bill?
Well, Phil, I got to tell you, our farmers, and I've had a chance to visit some farms here today in the Valley, and there's some differences, obviously, in the types of commodities are grown. That's a big difference. The size of the operations, that differs between Pennsylvania and California, but that differs throughout the country. What doesn't differ is the headwinds, the difficulties, the challenges that those hardworking families to provide us with food, fiber, building materials, and energy resources are facing right now at this point in time with significant record inflation. With not having the availability of crop protection tools because of an administration that's demonized them. the uncertainty with the proposed waters of the U.S. regulation and an administration that keeps talking about ending stepped-up basis, which would prevent a family farm like David's family farm from being really would make it difficult to pass that along to the next generation. And then, the need for research because there's always some new invasive species or something that it's hindering, whether it's specialty crops or hardwoods or and that research, those resources to be able to to combat those are all things. And quite frankly, the Farm Bill is a whole lot more than that. I suspect we'll hear from some real stakeholders because anything in rural America, the Agriculture Committee touches on, and much of the Farm Bill will deal with.
I mean, there's even stuff like rural broadband that will be impacted by this. But what the chairman brought up a few minutes ago about the research is one that I don't think people realize how important that is. When you see what citrus greening did to the citrus industry in Florida, where California is now the #1 citrus state in the country because that invasive disease or virus destroyed that much. I mean, you got the glassy-winged sharpshooter that's threatening our grapes, and we're very well known for all of our grapes around the valley. I mean, you see what's going on with eggs, the avian flu, the impact it's had on the price of poultry and the price of eggs. And these types of things, when we talk about research, we have to make sure that we're protecting us from invasive species at our borders, but also having the tools in place to protect our crops so that we're not seeing these huge swings and food insecurity situations. So the Farm Bill has a huge impact. And the fact that the chairman is doing his very first one here in California at the Farm Show, to me, is a great honor for us and a great opportunity. And I really do appreciate him making the time to be out here in the Valley for us.
All right, that's the voice of Congressman David Valadao. He joins me this afternoon, along with Congressman Glenn G.T. Thompson, the chairman of the House Committee on Agriculture. There is a Farm Bill listening session tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the Heritage Complex Banquet Hall. It's part of the World Ag Expo. We're going to check back in with these two to find out, for those of you who want to attend, what can you anticipate as far as needing to pre-register? What can you anticipate in terms of the amount of time that you will have to make your case to both these two members of Congress, as well as the Speaker of the House of Representatives, who's going to be in attendance, I hear. It's the Afternoon Drive at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ Worldwide. Listen online at kmjnow.com.
And taking a look at Monday afternoon traffic, avoid Blackstone between Shaw and Barstow if at all possible. Traffic is really tied up there as an investigation continues after earlier this afternoon 3 cars collided, caused a fatality. Not sure exactly what the full details are. We are looking into that right now. Also in Fresno, East Floral and South Chestnut, there's been an accident. Emergency vehicles are on the way there. In Tulare County, Road 108, Avenue 328, a hit and run with no injuries. And also in Tulare County, Drive 140, Avenue 24, there was a collision with no injuries involved. With KMJ Traffic, in for Greg Lane, I'm Ron McCary.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I sell custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters that are easy to install at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are custom-made for your windows, and I guarantee they'll fit. Don't hire a pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
February may be the shortest month, but as they say, big things come in small packages. Because it's a promotion frenzy this February at the Tachi Palace. Over $160,000 in cash and prizes. Over 2,500 promotion winners. See TachiPalace.com or the Premier Club for complete promotion details. It's a promotion frenzy! All packed into the shortest month at the Tachi Palace Casino Resort. This is 40!
Hi, I'm Joe Holstein, president of SunPower by Quality Home Services, with an urgent message. The local utilities are changing the solar rates and credits, and it's not in your favor. It's estimated that with this new plan, known as NEM 3, new solar customers will lose as much as 75% of the savings that solar provides. That's the bad news. The good news is there's still time to get signed up on the current plan, but you only have until April 15th. So if you've ever thought about going solar or thought about adding on to your current system, now is the time. Call today before it's too late. Solar never has been and never will be as affordable as it is right now. So act today. Visit our website at sunpowerbyqhs.com. at sunpowerbyqhs.com. Please don't miss out and don't delay. Act today before it's too late.
Don't miss out on the savings. Go to sunpowerbyqhs.com. That's sunpowerbyqhs.com. CSLB 716208.
Are you like me? You like to play around with your truck or your Jeep? Whether that vehicle is just a toy or maybe it's your office, it's your work. That's how you make your living because of your truck. Every single need you have with that vehicle is met by the Noble Brothers Truck Accessory Center. Yeah, me, Ray Appleton. I'm talking about this great company that I have been involved with for a couple of decades now. I couldn't even begin to tell you how many different dealerships here in Central California have used the Noble Brothers for years to finish their trucks. But you want to finish that after-purchase build-out? Your partner on that one has to be the Noble Brothers Truck Accessory Centers. Two of them, one out in Sunnyside, the other at Blackstone and Sierra. Hey, you got a fifth wheel? You need the Noble Brothers. They have gooseneck hitches, and yes, they have B&W. You need a bed liner? A ladder rack? You have a Jeep Wrangler like me. You want to lift it? Big tires, wheels, all kinds of lights. For 42 years, it's the Noble Brothers Truck Accessory Centers.
Choosing the right restaurant for your family, friends, or a date night isn't always easy. Let's make it a little easier. Shanghai Chinese cuisine has been a local Fresno favorite for many years. They offer family-style dining at a great price. Shanghai, known for their famous Chinese chicken salad, serves all authentic Chinese dishes such as orange chicken, broccoli beef, chow mein dishes, and egg foo young, along with many other delicious choices. Shanghai is open and still located on the northwest corner of Blackstone and Griffin and is open 7 days a week. Shanghai is celebrating the Year of the Rabbit and will be having a lion dance on January 28th and February 4th. Call for more information at 221-0227. Come enjoy the atmosphere of Chinese hospitality and treat yourself to an amazing meal. Or let Shanghai prepare it for you to take home. Either way, you'll be glad you did. Catering and gift certificates are also available. Call them today for a reservation or takeout at 221-0227. That's 221-0227.
Employees are tough to find, good ones even tougher, unless you're at the Central Valley Career Fair coming to Sierra Vista Mall March 16th. It's your chance to find some great new hires from hundreds looking to find or upgrade their future employment. This career fair is promoted to job seekers or people who may consider a change by 4 Big Valley radio stations, including this one. It's the Central Valley Career Fair, March 15th from 11 till 2 at the Sierra Vista Mall. Call 490-5800 today to reserve your space or visit kmjnow.com.
Live, local, on it. News Talk 580 1059 KMJ.
KMJ.
And always streaming at kmjnow.com.
Rolling up on 4 o'clock on your afternoon drive at News Talk 580 and 1059 KMJ. The House Agriculture Committee's first official stop to gather input for the 2023 Farm Bill reauthorization process is going to take place tomorrow right here in the Valley at the World Ag Expo. Congressman David Valadao and the House Committee on Agriculture Chairman Glenn Thompson are joining me right now. Gentlemen, I know you've got a lot of stops and a lot of work to do between now and September. Are there any highlights from this iteration of the Farm Bill that you want to announce or that you think are already ready for consideration in the House?
Well, Phil, there's for the most part, we're not there. We unfortunately are way behind, and it's just a sad fact. I'm not going to point any fingers or anything. Why? But we got a lot of work to do ahead of us, and that's why we're really in the audit phase. We need to hear from farmers and ranchers, processors, folks from rural America in terms of what's working, what's not working, what can be improved upon, and that's now there's some things that are starting to emerge. As David made reference to, probably I would imagine a strengthening of the research title, because that is so important. This needs to be a farm bill that doesn't serve just for today, but also for tomorrow. The farmer of today but looks over the horizon of farmer tomorrow. We need to obviously defend and protect, but also perhaps improve crop insurance. That seems to be, that's a theme I consistently hear. I suspect we'll hear that again tomorrow. Here in California, it's apparent to me we're going to hear about water tomorrow. We may hear about labor. Not all of that is under our jurisdiction, and maybe not under the Farm Bill. But I think it's important to hear from an agriculture committee and a congressional perspective. So I expect we're going to hear quite a bit tomorrow.
Do either of you anticipate with the new and somewhat thin Republican majority in the House, do you anticipate any stumbling blocks on the Farm Bill, or is this really just a matter of crafting this to meet the needs of the specific constituents?
Well, I don't anticipate that. You never know. I mean, every Farm Bill is different, and it has, as you mentioned, about once every 5 years when we do this reauthorization. But we're really focusing on emphasizing that American agriculture is defined by science, technology, and innovation. So we're looking for opportunity for not just providing what people need today, but how do we make sure that we're providing tomorrow through the agriculture industry. It's one of the reasons we're, in addition to tomorrow, if maybe somebody's listening is not going to be able to make it out tomorrow or won't be at the World Agriculture Expo at that time, if they just go on agriculture.house.gov and go under the policy tab, there is a 2023 Farm Bill feedback form. Real easy to complete and gives people an opportunity to kind of weigh in on whether they're farmers or whether it's somebody concerned with rural broadband or rural utilities or any of the land-grant universities, all the many different things, nutrition. We have a nutrition title. This Farm Bill really is important for those who produce food, those who process food, and quite frankly, those who consume food.
Chairman Thompson, I appreciate that. Again, agriculture.house.gov, an online feedback form for the Farm Bill. Congressman Valadeo, we've got just a minute left, sir, but before I cut you loose, anything for the folks coming out to see you tomorrow?
No, I just think it's important to highlight how big of a deal this is. I had the honor of spending some time at some farms in Pennsylvania with the chairman last year. And so coming out to California, obviously we grow different commodities here and some of the same commodities, but having the opportunity to get a perspective from across the country is amazing. We got members of Congress coming in from North Carolina, Tennessee, a bunch from California, obviously the chairman from Pennsylvania, the speaker himself. This is important, and so we're looking forward to it, and it really means a lot to us here in the Valley. The chairman's willing to take some time out for us. So thanks for having us on the show, though. Let us talk about it.
Gentlemen, I appreciate both of you giving us the time. Again, that is Congressman David Valadeo and the House Committee on Agriculture Chairman, Congressman G.T. Thompson from Pennsylvania's 15th District. If you missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to hear it in the podcast section at kmjnow.com a little bit later on this afternoon. And if you are not going to be able to join them tomorrow at the Farm Show, the World Ag Expo. I'm never not going to get through a World Ag Expo without doing that. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. to noon at the Heritage Complex Banquet Hall. Hop online and get registered so you can contribute to that Farm Bill listening session, or go to agriculture.house.gov.
Missed part of the show? Get the Afternoon Drive podcast at kmjnow.com or by searching KMJ's Afternoon Drive in Amazon Music or Stitcher.
Every small business owner knows business happens everywhere. The office, the warehouse, or on the road. And no matter where it takes you, there's one solution to help your business thrive. Comcast Business Complete Connectivity. It's the largest, fastest, reliable network with advanced gig speed Wi-Fi and cyber threat protection in one solution. Get started for just $49.99 a month. Plus, add Comcast Business Mobile and you can save up to 60% a year on your wireless bill. And ask how to get up to a $750 prepaid card.
Flight 291 is now aboard.
Yep, you're going places. And when you get there, be ready to do business. The complete connectivity solution from the company that powers more small businesses than any other provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/21/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New 50 megabits per second internet and Comcast Business Security Edge customers only. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply. Gig internet required for gig Wi-Fi. Mobile savings compares pricing of top 3 carriers.
Is your well almost dry, or is it dry?
Are you on a waiting list to have a well drilled? Have you been turned away from other drilling companies who can't handle the hard rock drilling conditions in your area? Strickland Well Drilling is here for you. With over 2 decades of experience specializing in residential, agricultural, and hard rock drilling, Strickland Well Drilling proudly serves Fresno, Tulare, Kings, and Madera counties. Don't wait. Make the call today at 352-7228. Again, 352-7228. Or for more information, visit StricklandWellDrilling.com. Whether it's the soft sandy soils of the west, the clay and cobble of the east, or the hard rock mountainous terrain, Strickland Well Drilling has the equipment and expertise to handle your individual water well needs. Access to clean water is vital, and Strickland Well Drilling knows you can't afford to wait. Call for a no-cost detailed estimate today at 352-7228. Strickland Well Drilling, dedicated to keep the valley flowing. Make the call today, 352-7228, or visit StricklandWellDrilling.com.
Check out Duarte Nursery's World Ag Expo booth, K24, and meet local representatives for more information on the Yorizani almond, the Bennett Hickman almond, and budded pistachios.
News Talk 580 AM, 1059 FM, KMJ, Fresno, a Cumulus Media station. KMJ.
It's 4 o'clock in Fresno. I'm Joe Miller in the KMJ News Center. A driver killed this afternoon following a collision on Blackstone and San Jose Avenues in Fresno. Police called to the area at about 1:30, learning that a driver in a Dodge Charger had crashed into a red GMC pickup at a high rate of speed. Police learned the driver of the Charger racing a pickup down Blackstone Avenue prior to spinning out and crashing into the red pickup. Fresno police says the driver of the Charger, who was not identified, taken to Community Regional Medical Center where they later died. Officers say the driver of the red pickup reported minor injuries following the collision. Fresno police announcing a series of arrests following a major drug bust within the city.
Detectives from the Fresno Police Major Narcotics Unit spent last week issuing search warrants at a pair of locations in the northeast and northwestern parts of the city. Those busts netted a total of 4 arrests and saw officers seize fentanyl powder and pills and at least 1 stolen handgun. Investigators add these raids were all gang-related, and they encourage anyone with tips on possible drug activity to call them into Valley Crime Stoppers at 498-STOP. Matt Otstadt, KMJ News.
1 woman is dead, a man hospitalized after a suspected DUI head-on crash last night in Madera. CHP called to Avenue 15, east of Road 39.5. They found a crash involving a Chevy Camaro and a Mini Cooper. The 19-year-old driver of the Mini Cooper suffered fatal injuries from the crash, pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the Camaro suffered major injuries, transported to a hospital. Officers say that alcohol does appear to be a factor in the crash. Officials continuing their investigation into 4 recent suspected spy devices. Fox's Jennifer Griffin has more from the Pentagon.
Unlike the spy balloon, which U.S. intelligence was tracking, these objects were much smaller, flying much lower, and were not being steered and posed a threat to U.S. civilian aircraft. Kirby said the U.S. military is not tracking any objects of concern flying over U.S. airspace today. He pushed back firmly on Chinese accusations that the U.S. is flying any surveillance aircraft or balloons over China. The Biden administration gave Congress a classified briefing last August on China's high-altitude surveillance balloon program.
Now the forecast from Fox 26 is Justin Willis.
Seasonable weather for us to start the week. Afternoon highs are in the mid-60s today. Overnight lows are in the upper 30s. A little breezy for your Valentine's Day tomorrow. 15 to 25 mile-an-hour winds and plenty of sunshine. Freeze watch already in effect for Wednesday and Thursday. During that time, we could see temps a few degrees below freezing across the Central Valley overnight. From the Fox 26 Weather Center for KMJ, I'm Justin Willis.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Joe Miller for News Talk 580, 1059 KMJ.
And taking a look at traffic on this Monday afternoon, you must avoid Blackstone between Shaw and Barstow. There's still portions of it that are closed down completely. There was a bad accident earlier this afternoon around between 1:30 and 2, caused a fatality, and investigations are still going on. East Floral and South Chestnut in the Fresno area, there was an injury accident in Tulare County, Road 108 and Avenue 328, a hit and run with no injuries. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Churchancy Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Churchancy Gold Resort and Casino.
Teresi Teresi tackles Fresno and California issues every day. Philip Teresi on News Talk 580 1059 KMJ.
4:04 on your afternoon drive. Philip Teresi with you at News Talk 580 and 1059 KMJ. Thank you again to House Agriculture Committee Chairman Glenn Thompson, along with David Valadeo, California 22nd Congressional District. They're going to be at the World Ag Expo tomorrow. A Farm Bill listening session is planned. If you can be there, join them in the Heritage Banquet Facility. If you cannot be there, go to agriculture.house.gov. You will see an online feedback form for the 2023 Farm Bill reauthorization, and they want to hear from you. They want to know what your priorities are, be it crop insurance, be it water storage, be it not allowing Chinese corporations backed by their government to buy up farmland. There's a lot that goes into this, and that's exactly why they need to hear back from you. Again, agriculture.house.gov if you want to contribute. And if you missed the interview, kmjnow.com. We'll have that up in just a couple of minutes. Got a story here. It's kind of slipped under the wire. I don't usually use Epoch Times. They're, they're a little hysterical for me, but that's okay. In this case, I think that maybe a little bit of hysterical outrage might be useful and appropriate. They're talking about Senate Bill 274. This was brought in by California State Senator Nancy Skinner out of Berkeley. As we know, all the best ideas come from Berkeley. This would ban schools from suspending students who disrupt class or defy teachers. Basically, it would end so-called willful defiance suspensions. State Senator Skinner says such suspensions lead to students dropping out and exacerbate learning loss at a time when many kids are still behind due to the COVID-19 pandemic and subsequent response. She also suggests that the suspensions disproportionately affect Black male students, citing a study from 2018 that reports that Black male students are 3 times more likely to be suspended for willful defiance than the statewide average. In a press release from 12 days ago, Senator Skinner says, SB 274 is based on a simple premise: students belong in school. Instead of kicking them out of school, we owe it to students to figure out what's causing them to act out and help them to fix it. Teachers are there to teach. They are not social workers. You don't pay them enough to be psychologists. And every other kid in the classroom has a right to learn, ma'am. This bill is intended to build on legislation that Skinner introduced in 2019 that did pass, that banned willful defiance suspensions for kindergarten through 5th grade and would eventually ban them in middle schoolers starting in 2025. This new bill would permanently prohibit willful defiance suspensions for all students from transitional kindergarten through their senior year of high school, and it would go into effect by next school year. Skinner says students, especially those with behavioral issues, need to be in school where teachers and counselors can help them succeed, except for the part where they are not the center of the universe. And if you've got a classroom with 35 children in it, and one of those 35 children cannot or will not behave themselves, taking that teacher out of circulation to play psychiatrist or counselor or nursemaid or mommy to the one kid who won't sit down and act right does a disservice to the other 34 kids. Davina Kaiser is a retired educator. She worked for 4 decades in the Long Beach Unified School District. She told the Epoch Times that disruptive behavior was detrimental to the learning of everybody else in the classroom. It's almost like a license for the rest of the kids to go ahead and misbehave. Yep. Kaiser is still a substitute teacher for the district. Good Lord, woman, retire. She is also the president of the education nonprofit Del Rey Education. She says, as teachers, I wanted students to know that there are boundaries and they have to stay within those. And the observation is made that this proposed policy reflects a trend of replacing disciplinary action with what's called restorative justice, which focuses on mediation over punishment. Here, I think, is the problem with this. You are doing slightly greater harm to a larger population in order to possibly, maybe, theoretically, potentially reduce harm to a minority of the population. Disruptive students behave that way for a wide variety of reasons. Because you've got kids who have really genuinely bad situations at home. Their lives are screwed up, and it's their parents' fault. And school may be the closest thing that they have to a safe place. And those students, when they act out because they have never been modeled appropriate behavior, probably do need somebody to step in and help steer them towards appropriate behavior. And those kids will learn in time how to function in the classroom so as to get positive feedback, so as to be included, so as to be praised. Absolutely. That the value of that for that child is immeasurable. It's life-changing. There are also kids who are taught that women's opinions don't matter and that there is no such thing as a female authority figure. And so if you're a real man, you don't let a woman tell you anything. Some of that's educational, some of that's cultural. And it's a big pain in the butt if you don't have a teacher who's used to navigating that behavior that is explicitly modeled day after day in the home. You've got kids that are going through something that's temporary, that probably just needs space to get it out of their system. And you've got kids who are clowns. They're not trying to hurt anybody. They're not trying to disrupt the class because they're uncomfortable. They're probably bored and they're acting up because they think it's funny to get a rise out of the teacher, or they think it's funny to get a laugh out of the class. The stereotypical back row of the classroom class clown. And what that kid probably needs more than anything is a swift kick in the seat of the pants. There's a lot of different reasons that kids act out. There's a lot of different reasons that kids express defiant behavior, disruptive behavior. There is no one-size-fits-all solution to dealing with those issues. But I absolutely guarantee you that if you force a situation in the classroom where those students are able to dictate whether or not any learning will go on, there will be a measurable percentage of classrooms where no learning goes on because that child, lacking control, lacking meaning, lacking discipline, lacking direction, lacking a decent role model, lacking a parent that will come in and tell them to act right, for want of any other opportunity to exert control on the rest of their life, they will disrupt that class day after day because it feels like a little tiny slice of control. This is what Senator Skinner is utterly missing. Absolutely basic child psychology. And you've all seen this. You've all, in some form or another, you've all seen this. Different degrees, different manifestations. A perfect example out of my own life is my older son, who is now 24 years old, living in Southern California, dating a lovely girl, going to school. He's working his way through school and finding his own way in life. He's a good boy. I'm proud of that kid. I love that kid. And he's growing up to be somebody very, very worth knowing. When his mother and I were separating and going through the courtroom process of determining who would have custody and all of that, he felt completely helpless. He felt like his mother was abandoning him, because she was. He felt like I had become more strict, because I did a little bit. And he felt like everything in his life had changed overnight, and he didn't get a vote, because that's what happens when two adults can't make their relationship work and they have a child between them. And that sucks. And so he became the pickiest eater in America. He had a handful of core foods that he loved, and that was what he was going to eat. And he would get so worked up and so anxious about being asked to eat anything that deviated from the menu that he had chosen for himself. He would get physically sick. Now, was some of it him being dramatic? Yeah, probably. Was some of it him getting so worked up, so emotional that he was having a physical reaction? Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And we realized what was going on. For want of control in any other part of his life, the one thing that he was able to control was whether or not he would eat, whether or not he would eat something different. It was the one place that he could put his foot down and say, these are my boundaries, and have it stick. And some of that was my fault because I acquiesced a lot. Because look, he wasn't asking for crazy stuff. He wanted his absolute like favorite go-to meal was those little Dino Bite chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese and carrots to dip in ranch. Now, God knows that's not the single most nutritious, perfectly balanced meal in the history of diets and nutrition. There was carrots, there was protein. I felt okay about it. He wasn't getting fat. He didn't have scurvy. But that was what he wanted, and that's what he was going to eat. And then you could talk him into a cheeseburger. You could talk him into a slice of pizza. There was a couple of things like that, fast food, because it was a treat that he would go for. But that's what he wanted, and anything else, he would not go for it. So I acquiesced a lot because it's not hard to make. And my parents, God bless them, being the next most involved people in his life, grandma and grandpa, oh no, oh my God, they went to Costco. They must have bought a 5-gallon bucket of those stupid dinosaur chicken nuggets. That was, if you want them for breakfast, no problem. We'll put them out with maple syrup. And as things settled down, he grew out of that. And he went back to having a normal, expansive, childlike palate that included a little bit of everything. And he still, in before and during and afterwards, he bitched about eating broccoli like I was trying to get him to drink a shot of Drano. But that's this extremely subtle, minor imposition of autonomy by a child. When you've got a kid who has no other outlet, and they realize that they can take ownership of a situation, positive or negative, by provoking the teacher or by disrupting the class, when they have nowhere else in their life where they feel like they can have control, you bet your butt they're going to take it there. Now, do I think those children should be wadded up and thrown away? Of course not. But saying that the teachers can't discipline them, can't suspend them, can't remove them from the scenario, you're making a huge mistake. It's the afternoon drive at News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. Your calls are welcome at 490-5858. or toll free at 800-776-5858. More from you guys in a minute on the Afternoon Drive on KMJ.
And taking a look at traffic major problems on Blackstone between Shaw and Barstow. At last report, it was still closed down both directions due to an investigation going on after a fatal accident earlier this afternoon there occurred right at the corner of San Jose and Blackstone. In the Fresno area, East Flores and South Chestnut, there's been an injury accident. Emergency vehicles on the scene, and the cleanup is going on there. And also at Road 108 and Avenue 328 in Tulare County, a hit and run with no injuries. And also Tulare County, Avenue 32, between 32 and 40 and between 156. All in that area, there's a flood going on. In February, you can be making memories at Table Mountain Casino Resort with a chance to win an outdoor picnic set on Thursdays from 5 a.m. to midnight, or 900 points playing your rewards card. If you qualify, you win. Pick up your gift piece from the promotions counter while supplies last. Your next adventure is at Table Mountain Casino Resort with KMJ Traffic. I'm Ron McCary.
Fresno Rack and Shelving has been helping businesses expand their storage capacity since 1987. Whether you're looking to squeeze more storage space out of your existing warehouse, building a new warehouse, or expanding your existing warehouse, Fresno Rack can help with sales, design, engineering, installation, and permits all in-house. Ever wonder where the big box stores and warehouses get their green and orange racking? Good chance it's Fresno Rack or Bakersfield Rack. That's what they do all over the western U.S. But Fresno Rack doesn't stop with just warehouse racking. They have industrial part shelving, parts bins, safety rolling ladders, mezzanines, steel workbenches, warehouse cabinets, and so much more. You can see it all in Fresno Rack Showroom. South Valley can visit Bakersfield Rack Showroom. Large local stock, fast courteous service. Call 275-RACK. Click FresnoRack.com or visit their new showroom off to 168 by Ferguson's. Fresno Rack, where they put space to work for you.
Chlorinated water is for swimming, not drinking or bathing. Cities add chlorine to your water, causing dry skin and hair. A LifeSource water system is the solution to your water worries. A LifeSource system filters your water from every tap, reducing the harsh taste and feel of chlorine and giving you softer skin and hair without maintenance, no salt, filters, or servicing. Call 559-330-1850 for a free consultation or visit LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource, taste and feel the difference.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-932-4177. 800-932-4177. 800-932-4177.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
All the symptoms must defeat it. Test and treat it. You can beat it. Test it. If you feel sick, test to know if it's COVID. Treat it. Medication is key to slow the virus in your body. Beat it. Recover smoother. You may test negative sooner. California, you know you need it. Test and treat it. You can beat it.
Yeah. Visit youcanbeatit.org or call 833-422-4255 to ask for medication to treat COVID-19. Sponsored by the California Department of Public Health.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WIN for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WIN for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WIN.
Attention Fresno, another massive rate increase. Declare your energy independence from the utility company. If you've ever thought about going solar, you must go solar right now. You can go solar with Semper Solaris, your local and veteran-owned solar contractor. They'll get the job done with esprit de corps and honor. Imagine no money out of pocket and no payments until 2024. That's no utility bill and no payments all year. Keep your money in your pocket and go solar American style with Semper Solaris. Worried about blackouts? Tesla Powerwall and Enphase batteries are in stock. Call 559-242-1800. Not sure about your roof? Semper's an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Contractor. Upgrade to Owens Corning 50-year warranty for free. Grab the 30% solar federal tax credit. $500 downloadable coupon, $500 off for military and first responders. Plus, 0 down, 0% interest, and 0 payments until 2024. For all offers, call 559-242-1800 or visit sempersolaris.com.
On approved credit expires 2/28/2023. CSLB number 978152.
Roll through the 4 o'clock hour of a Monday afternoon. It's News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ, the day after the Super Bowl, and the buzz question at kmjnow.com asking, should today be a national holiday? Let us know what you think. That buzz question is sponsored by the Boz Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Centers, and I say, yeah, why not? Look, we've got national holidays that are about honoring men and women who have made incredible and sometimes truly ultimate sacrifices for this country. Veterans Day, Memorial Day. We have days on the calendar that are about honoring men and women who have done incredible things to shape and to mold our society. President's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We've got holidays that align with the philosophical Christian underpinnings of the foundation of this country, Easter and Christmas. Every one of those things is worthy and an obvious choice. Why not have a dumb one? The day after the Super Bowl is a perfect dumb national holiday. On the international stage, we're already the ugly Americans, and we promote our monoculture around the world at the expense of goodwill and good taste, because why the hell not? We've got Mickey Mouse and Coca-Cola and Wonder Bra and all of these delightful things. 100 million people watched that football game yesterday. And I would be willing to bet that most of the people who watched that football game didn't watch any other football, not seriously. They tuned in for commercials. They tuned in for spectacle. They tuned in so they would know what their coworkers were bitching about around the water cooler when it was time to talk about Rihanna's performance and whether or not she was pregnant. She is, by the way. We've got a bunch of national holidays that represent things that are big and important and worthy. Let's have a dumb one. This is a good dumb one. Look, the NBA Finals, too long. World Series, are you kidding me? And nobody cares enough about hockey to take an entire day off for that. That's right, I said it. The day after the Super Bowl is the perfect stupid holiday. I'm on board. I'm into it. 100% I'm into it, especially if we could get the NFL to agree that the Super Bowl will always be the weekend before Valentine's Day. Now, I know Valentine's Day travels on the calendar, and so that might mean that sometimes it's like a week before Valentine's Day. I get it. But if the NFL will agree that that's going to be a part of their scheduling consideration, in exchange for having a national holiday, for goodness sake. Because that way, today, You could be cleaning up, putting away what's left of the mess from Super Bowl. Look, there's at the very least you got to go through the fridge. And then going out and doing whatever it is that you haven't done yet for Valentine's Day. This would be the perfect day. And it would stimulate the economy. Because if you've got a 3-day weekend, 1, you're going to throw down harder on the Super Bowl. 2, today, you're going to go out and you're going to buy your old lady something that makes up for whatever dumb thing you said when she tried to talk to you in the middle of whatever that play was that got you to just dial in on that game. And you're going to spend a little more. You know you are. Yes, that's my answer. Let us know what you think at KMJNow.com. Again, the Buzz question is brought to you by the Buzz Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Centers. Coming back to this Epoch Times article about this effort by California State Senator Nancy Skinner to prohibitly ban for all grades in primary and secondary school suspensions for willful defiance, SB 274. I understand where the idea comes from, but you are robbing teachers of an essential tool to serve the rest of the kids in the classroom. Now, if you wanted to say suspension is a last resort, before we suspend, we will require the parent to attend class with their child for a day, or acknowledging that the parent was probably a big part of the problem to begin with, because if you've got a kid who's that disruptive, it's probably the parent's fault. Do an in-house suspension. Have a little study hall set up where if you've got a kid who can't act right, won't act right, look, we've got the technology to stream everything that we need to stream. At this point, for students who need a day off, maybe you've got somebody who's a little under the weather, they don't want to bring it to school. Maybe you've got somebody who they've got a doctor's appointment and they'll miss less class time if the day of the doctor's appointment they can attend online, like during the pandemic. Same camera, same microphone, same setup. And little Mr. or Mrs. Disruptive goes to study hall and they can sit there with their headphones on and they can watch and they can listen and they can take notes and they can do whatever the assignment is. But no matter how much they scream, yell, jump up and down and wave their arms, they can't disrupt the other 35 or 40 children in the classroom.
KMJ News now.
It's 4:30 in Fresno. Good afternoon. I'm Jim Miller in the KMJ News Center. Well, Fresno State product Derek Carr not rushing any decisions this offseason. ESPN reporting the Raiders quarterback will not waive his no-trade clause and will not extend Wednesday's deadline and guarantees him more than $40 million on his current contract. Las Vegas may decide to release the 31-year-old as soon as today, according to the report. Carr visiting New Orleans last week and will be able to begin negotiations with any team. If he's released by the Raiders, his $32.9 million salary for next season becomes fully guaranteed if he remains in the Raiders roster until Wednesday. White House says President Biden ordered a shift to how we track what's in our skies, and that may be why we've been spotting objects in our atmosphere. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal reports.
White House National Security Council Coordinator John Kirby says because of President Biden's orders, we discovered that China has a high-altitude balloon program. The 3 objects the U.S. and Canada shot down since then were not balloons, though. Kirby says they don't know what they were or are and are looking for the debris now.
One of the reasons that we think we're seeing more is because we're looking for more.
Kirby says enhanced radar capabilities look more carefully now.
At high altitude, small radar cross-section, and low-speed objects.
He said the president held the first daily unidentified aerial phenomenon briefing a year and a half ago after years of reports about UFOs the government had not studied carefully. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Now the forecast from Fox 26 is Justin Willis.
A little breezy for your Valentine's Day tomorrow, 15 to 25 mile an hour winds and plenty of sunshine. Freeze watch already in effect for Wednesday and Thursday. During that time, we could see temps a few degrees below freezing across the valley overnights. Otherwise, seasonable weather for us to start the week. Afternoon highs are in the mid-60s today. Overnight lows in the upper 30s. For KMJ from the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Justin Willis.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Jim Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
And in traffic, Blackstone between Shaw and Barstow needs to be avoided if at all possible this afternoon. Investigation is continuing into a 3-car accident that involved a fatality. Happened a couple of hours ago. As I say, the investigation continues. In South Fresno, East Floral, South Chestnut, an injury accident. And between Avenue 32 and 40, this is in Tulare County, Road 156 between Avenue 32 and 40. It's been closed down due to a flood. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
Looking for a new dining and beverage experience? Come check out Genesis Bistro at the northeast corner of Cedar and Nice in Fresno, where the chef's cuisine along with our mixologist's full cocktail and wine bar are getting people talking. Open for lunch and dinner, make your next meal with friends or family at Genesis Bistro, a one-of-a-kind experience. Also a great place to host a special event or celebration meal. To reserve an event, call 559-314-8284. Are you a talented hairstylist looking for a change? Check out 8028 Salon at Cedar and Nice, where we have open stations available and a move-in special. 8028 Salon offers a unique location and atmosphere for you and your clients. Elegantly located next to Genesis Bistro, your clients will have full options to enjoy food and drinks during service. 8028 Salon only has a few open stations left. Give your talents as a stylist the location you deserve at 8028 Salon. Inquire today at the location, northeast corner of Cedar and Nice in Fresno.
Using your phone should never have to be a luxury. Walmart Family Mobile now offers free or discounted plans through the Affordable Connectivity Program. ACP is a government program that helps eligible Americans have access to wireless service. You could get unlimited talk, text, and 8 gigabytes of high-speed data for free when you qualify. Apply now at myfamilymobile.com/ACP. Walmart Family Mobile is supported by the Affordable Connectivity Program and Lifeline Government Assistance Programs. Please visit myfamilymobile.com/ACP for more information.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs.
I never thought I'd care about gardening until I bought a house in the suburbs. But now I find myself in conversations about liquid fertilizer, and I wonder, am I the fertilizer guy now? No way. Everyone knows the ratio between phosphorus and nitrogen, right? Yeah, I'm still totally cool.
Anyway, when you save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto, that's the easy part of adjusting to the suburbs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I sell custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters that are easy to install at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are custom-made for your windows, and I guarantee they'll fit. Don't hire a pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Your calls, your tweets, and your voice are welcome right now.
You like to talk, so it shouldn't be a problem.
The Valley's Afternoon Drive with Philip Teresi on News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
Rolling up on 440 on your afternoon drive at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. This is a heads up from the Internal Revenue Service, and I think they're going to keep beating this drum. I keep seeing it reported and re-reported, and it's a good heads up while they try to figure out exactly how your taxes are going to look. The Internal Revenue Service is telling you to hang off on filing your taxes just yet. The Internal Revenue Service has finally determined that it won't tax California's middle-class tax refund. The problem is that's not the only money that the state of California sent out. It's not the only relief money. TurboTax and all of the various softwares are still catching up with the decision from the Internal Revenue Service. So even if you go through and you otherwise prep your taxes, don't file yet because they're still making up their minds which of those credits exactly you're going to get dinged on, if any. But the middle class tax refund is not taxable according to the Franchise Tax Board, and the IRS has said that it is not taxable in most cases. But if you need to file an amended return, if somehow on February 13th you've already filed your 2022 taxes, you nerd, you may need to file an amended return if you want to get back what you gave too much of. And there's 19 states. They're still trying to sort this out. Alaska, here in California, Colorado, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, Rhode Island, South Carolina, and Virginia. So if you haven't filed yet, just hang back. I personally hate giving the IRS more money than I have to, and I hate letting them hang on to my money longer than I have to. So I tend to wait until early April to file mine. Now, I'm not a tax professional. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a financial advisor. So talk to your CPA or your professional tax preparer or whomever it is that helps you make those big decisions before you make any commitment. I'm going to get my taxes done probably next weekend. I'll sit down and do a dry run and just kind of get the shape of the thing. I will not finalize and send off my tax return before April Fool's Day. There's no chance. I'll have it done well before the 15th, but it'll be that 2-week window at the beginning of April that I finally wrap it up. Again, talk to your financial advisor. Don't listen to the idiot just jockey. I'm just telling you what I would do. Out in Visalia, Rich Rodriguez is investigating a story that I feel like this pops up from time to time wherever you are, except in Visalia, there might be something to this. Maybe. One of the urban legends in Visalia is that downtown Visalia is honeycombed with old tunnels. You've got basements, dens, an enclosed canal, a archaic but effective cooling system under an old theater. Now, Visalia historian Terry Oman says, quote, "There's this urban legend that says Visalia is honeycombed with tunnels. I've yet to find a tunnel that I can see." And so so we start with the Double L Steakhouse. In an interview with the owner, Chris Lum, in 2008, it was revealed that the basement underneath the steakhouse was a popular hangout for Chinese nationals decades back. Lum, in this 2008 interview, says, quote, "We found bullets, old syringe bottles, pipes, things you don't see every day." He says, "I'm pretty lucky, actually, because I get a little bit of my Chinese heritage dug up right here in Visalia." Then you get to the tunnels below the Fox Theater. Those tunnels were built in 1929 as part of the air conditioning system. Cool air would flow through the tunnels and come up beneath the theater seats. The head of maintenance says that the tunnels are part of the AC system and none of them connect to neighboring buildings. Now, here's the thing. The city of Visalia was built on the banks of Mill Creek. That creek still flows through downtown, but it's enclosed in a concrete channel underground. So Visalian Derek Hill says, "I'd heard about the underground tunnels for years, sometimes known as opium tunnels." He hosed himself off with bug repellent And he went down for a walk. He says, curiosity got the better of me. I want to keep exploring. I want to keep going. Every time there was a twist or a turn in the tunnel, it just seemed like it was going on forever. Hill says that his little underground sojourn took him all the way into downtown. He said there were sections of the tunnel where you look up and it's wooden ceilings and you know that those are the floors and the foundations of the buildings that line Main Street and downtown in Visalia. Now, historian Terry Oman comes back and says that's not a tunnel, that's Mill Creek. That's the underground waterway. Oman said, quote, he's in the channel that had been concreted and lined. He's definitely underground and he's definitely under Visalia, but I think tunnel is a misnomer for where he is. That's the creek bed. Oman also says that most of the tunnel stories focus on Visalia's old Chinatown area. And we go back to restaurant owner Chris Lum, who says there is a lot of unwritten history from that era. Now, what he uncovered in the basement of his restaurant is on display now. Lum said there was a lot of gambling. Historian Oman says they used to smoke opium. It was a little sub-community. And they would get together underground in rooms like what's underneath Chris Lum's steakhouse, and they would smoke opium. They were escaping from life upstairs. He says, of course, the Chinese nationals were brought here to work during the gold rush and while we were building the railroads, but they were ostracized by society. From Lum, quote, those people were single men. All they wanted to do was dream, so they would use opium and dream and think about their family back home. And they would use these underground dens to just have some peace and quiet where they could get high and go to dreamland. As I paraphrase slightly off of his quote, excuse me. Now, again, as Visalia's historian, Terry Oman has given something like 75 tours of the city. He says that the most frequently asked question is about the tunnels, especially in Chinatown. And Oman says, quote, I wish we had them. I'd love to see them. I'm not saying we don't. I'm saying I've never seen them. But dens, basements, and a creek channel don't fit the description that people present to Oman on those tours. Now, the Visalia Convention and Visitors Bureau has mapped out a walking tour of the area. If you want to check it out, you can go to visitvisalia.com, or you'll also find the link in this great story by Rich Rodriguez at kmph.com. That's our news partner, Fox 26. Now, I know that they say that they haven't seen them. I haven't seen the tunnel that connects the network underneath Pinedale to Weber BMW, but I know it's there. It's how the Illuminati get to their meetings. You just have to know the right buttons to press on the elevator at Weber to get down there.
And taking a look at traffic, Blackstone between Shaw and Barstow continues to be a problem. There was a fatal accident earlier this afternoon at San Jose and Blackstone. And looking at the map, it appears that traffic is still being kept from that area. Road 156, Avenue 32 and 40, this is between Avenue 32 and 40 in Tulare County, is closed down due to a flood. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The children's music and dance teacher who couldn't cha-cha.
I was always on my feet. It was just so painful.
Elisa couldn't let her students down, so she stepped up and went to the Good Feet store for personally fitted arch supports.
I would work an entire day, and my feet didn't hurt at the end of the day. That was when I knew, wow, these are different.
But the really good part?
It's good to be dancing together again.
Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Step into your Good Feet store in Fresno, Merced, and Visalia. Good Feet, the official arch support of Fresno State Athletics.
You know, for a number of years, I've been telling you about the Zuber team, and now that I've sold my home to them in one of their programs called the Instant Cash Offer, I really get it because I've been Zubered by Darren and Daryl. The Zuber team with Real Broker. You want to be Zubered? They will help with repairs. You can't afford to get that, air conditioning fixed, maybe a little paint, need some new carpet. They'll do that for you and settle up at the end when you have cash in hand. I can tell you they're the number one team in the Fresno Clovis area since 2011. I can tell you they've sold close to 7,000 homes since 1971. I can tell you about the thousands they spend in marketing your home. But now that I've worked with them, I can tell you it all works for real. I can't do a bigger endorsement than that. 2 words. I'm happy. Google Zuber Team or click Zuberteam.com, Zuber. Any interest in joining the Zuber Team? Then do what I just told you.
License number 1213700.
Folks, there's a fast break with the game on the line. He dribbles down the court, passes ahead for the alley-oop, and it's caught for a slam dunk.
Do you need an assist? Regain and optimize your sexual performance. See what Pacific Men's Clinic can do to help in the bedroom. Pacific Men's Clinic's safe and pain-free, clinically proven procedure breaks up plaque and stimulates the growth of healthy new blood vessels. Call for your free consultation now at 559-550-6771. That's 559-550-6771.
On this product, I've lost 45 pounds in 45 days. A pound a day. I started feeling the product on the second day I took it. I owe you guys my life is how I feel about it.
That's great, Jack. Losing 45 pounds in 45 days.
About 2.5 weeks into it, noticed a huge difference. I feel like I'm 20 again. I weighed about 325 when I started taking it, and I've already dropped 20 pounds. I feel great again.
Congratulations, TJ, on losing 20 pounds in 20 days. Guys, would you like to experience similar results? Then try Ultramax T, which effectively targets and eliminates belly fat, increases testosterone, and boosts energy. And if you're overeating, Ultramax T can help stop unhealthy cravings, making it even easier for you to lose belly fat. Go to andro400.com and order Ultramax T today and get free shipping. andro400.com. That's andro400.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WIN for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WIN for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WIN.
NEM 3.0 is on the horizon, and change is coming. Call Solar Negotiators today to find out how you can lock in your savings under California's current solar policy. Speak with a consultant today to get pre-qualified for a zero-down, low-interest rate loan and go 18 months with no payments. Go solar with confidence through Solar Negotiators, your lifetime energy partner. To learn more about NEM 3.0 or to get a free quote, visit solarnegotiators.com.
It's a new year, and KMJ has a new app. Get it now at the App Store by searching KMJ 580.
Rolling up on 5 o'clock on your afternoon drive. I'm Philip Teresi. It's News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. Phone's open for your calls, 490-5858 or toll free, 800-776-5858. Looks like the order has come down out of Georgia. An order for the release of limited portions of the grand jury report reviewing election interference in 2020. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Robert McBurney who is overseeing the grand jury's work, has declined to release the full grand jury report. That's expected to include charging recommendations. But he has directed the release of 3 portions of the report. Most of this sided with an argument from the Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis, who pledged to soon make charging decisions and said that the report's release could generate challenges for future defendants to get a fair trial. So jurors involved in crafting the report had previously determined that it should be released to the public. McBurney, in his 8-page decision, said there were no lawyers advocating for any targets of the investigation. The process is entirely appropriate, but it's a one-sided exploration. He also says potential future defendants were not able to present evidence outside the scope of what the district attorney asked them. They were not able to call their own witnesses and who might rebut what other states' witnesses had said. They had no ability to present their mitigating evidence. Put differently, there was very limited due process in this process for those who might be named as indictment worthy in the final report. I'm not surprised to hear that. That's kind of how grand juries work, isn't it? The release will include the introduction and conclusion of the report, as well as a section discussing that some witnesses may have lied under oath. That section does not identify the witnesses. So what in the world are we getting? A thesis statement, a conclusion, and a passage that, absent context, is just going to lead to speculation. So they're also going to delay the release until tomorrow so as to allow for Attorney Willis to advocate for redactions in any section. And this, of course, is viewed by many as a possible pathway for an eventual prosecution of former President Trump. The allegation that in a phone call to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, Trump asked him to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have. In a January hearing, Willis stressed multiple defendants could have their right to a fair trial implicated by the report's release. Quote, "We have to be mindful of protecting future defendants' rights. And so what does the state not want to see happen? And don't think that there's any way that the court would be able to guarantee that if the report was released, there could somehow be arguments made that it impacts the right for individuals, multiple individuals, to get a fair trial, have a fair hearing, and to be able to be tried in this jurisdiction." I don't know, other than simply acknowledging that transparency is a must, I don't know what good comes from this release, because it's just going to lead to speculation and finger pointing because there's no conclusion. And yet at the same time, if you release nothing, you set the conspiracy theory nuts loose. It's the Afternoon Drive on KMJ. On the way, an update of headlines from Jim Miller in the KMJ newsroom. Ron McCary will have another look at your drive home. And hour 4 of the show continues on KMJ.
Missed part of the show? Get the Afternoon Drive podcast at kmjnow.com or by searching KMJ's Afternoon Drive in Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
I know exactly how you feel. You're sitting there at the gas pump wondering, am I ever going to have a regular meal again? Because you're cutting out all the good food because you can't afford the gas, right? Wait until you see your next PG&E bill. No more meals out and no more hair because you're going to be pulling that out as well, too. Do what I did. Planet Solar. When you have a solar system put in by Planet Solar, you literally lock in your energy price forever. Don't you wish it could be that way at the gas pump? Sorry, but you can't do that there. But you can do it for your home with Planet Solar, and it all began for them right here in Central California. One of the things I really liked about these guys is their financing. Don't let the rate hike scare you away from going with Planet Solar. And they are really quick and good and efficient on installation, and they have become masters at putting together a complete solar package with a solar battery. So you've got the juice when PG&E says, no, you don't need it because we're trying to conserve to save the world. Click planetsolar.com. Do that. Call them at 228-9245.
Per the current government mandate, U.S.-based insurers are now required to cover at-home COVID testing kits with no out-of-pocket fees to you. If you have a current insurance plan, you are eligible to receive up to 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to you each month absolutely free, as long as the government mandate is in effect. Just visit testkitforfree.com to register now from the comfort of your own home. That's testkitforfree.com to receive your tests shipped to you at no cost. Go to testkitforfree.com today. Paid for by T. Euro Health.
Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your vehicle and budget. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with peak long life universal premixed antifreeze and coolant. Now just $6.99 after mail-in rebate. Plus, get 2 times O Rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly. Limits apply. See store for details.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-932-4177. 800-932-4177. 800-932-4177. Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chukchansi Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino.
The original KMJ, 580 AM, 105.9 FM, Fresno, a Cumulus media station.
It's 5 o'clock in Fresno. Good afternoon. I'm Jim Miller. Here's what's happening. Well, 4 people under arrested follows a major drug bust in Fresno. Detectives from the Major Narcotics Unit serving 2 warrants in the northwest and northeast parts of the city, which they learned were gang-related. Officers discovered 2 stolen handguns, a shotgun, fentanyl powder, and pills at the 2 scenes. All 4 suspects were booked into the county jail. Gas prices in Fresno remain relatively stable. AAA reports the average price for a gallon of regular is $4.54 today. It's up 20 cents from a month ago, but around the same as it was last week. The national average sits much lower at $3.42. Following a push from state Republican lawmakers, the IRS issues a response over claiming California's middle-class tax refund on your taxes, and KBAK's David Kaplan has the story.
Senator Shannon Grove says nearly half the state of California received a rebate from the state last year.
There's 18 million middle-class taxpayers that received a rebate up to $600.
Grove and other lawmakers sent a letter to President Biden asking his administration to not treat this middle-class tax as income and a rebate, but as a refund on taxes. The IRS saying California's inflation relief payments will not need to be reported. They say the payments are part of what they called a general welfare and disaster relief payment.
A local coffee chain kicking off a fundraiser this week to help feed families in the Central Valley. Dutch Brothers Coffee planning to donate $1 from every drink sold to the Central California Food Bank. And Salt and Light, February 17, the so-called Dutch Love event started 17 years ago. The coffee chain says their goal is to raise as much as possible. World Ag Expo in Tulare kicks off with a heavy dose of politics. KMJ Ag Director Don York explains.
The House Committee on Agriculture's first official stop to get input on a new farm bill takes place at the World Ag Expo on Tuesday. The listening session is an opportunity for farmers, ranchers, and others to let lawmakers know what they'd like to see funded in a new farm bill. The farm bill usually authorizes various programs every 5 years in our nation. The Farm Bill listening session is scheduled to start at 10 o'clock in the morning at the Heritage Complex Banquet Hall at the International Agri Center. That's where the World Egg Expo takes place. Don York, KMJ News.
Now the forecast from Fox 26's Justin Willis.
A little breezy for your Valentine's Day tomorrow, 15 to 25 mile-an-hour winds and plenty of sunshine. Freeze watch already in effect for Wednesday and Thursday. During that time, we could see temps a few degrees below freezing across the valley overnights. Otherwise, seasonable weather for us to start the week. Afternoon highs are in the mid-60s today. Overnight lows in the upper 30s. For KMJ, from the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Justin Willis.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com, I'm Jim Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
And there are still problems on northbound Blackstone between Shaw and Barstow, which has been closed most of the afternoon after a three-car collision which involved a fatality happened about 1:30 this afternoon there. So avoid that section of Blackstone if at all possible, because you'll probably be turned away. Road 156 between Avenue 32 and 40, this is in Tulare County, has been closed due to a flood of some sort. And northbound 99 just south of Olive in the Fresno area, a collision, unknown if there are any injuries at this time. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
Now, the Valley's Afternoon Drive with Philip Teresi. Philip Teresi. Your calls, your tweets, and your voice are welcome right now on News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
It's 5:05 on your Afternoon Drive at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ, online at KMJNow.com. Watch the show streaming on Twitch.tv, YouTube, or Facebook Live at Drive KMJ. Find the show on social media, also at Drive KMJ. Joshua Weekly stands by to screen your calls at 490-5858 or 800-776. Still haven't fixed that. It still gets me every time. It's loud, right? Like, not just in here? Yeah. Ron's laughing at me right now because he saw my head snap up when that music bed started. Our long national nightmare is over. The sexualization of cartoon, animated candy people for the purposes of selling candy-coated chocolate seems to have resulted in the most confusing nothing burger of Super Bowl advertising arcs, maybe in the history of confusing, pointless Super Bowl advertising. And I am putting this squarely on the same tier as I think it was Mountain Dew Puppy Monkey Baby ad, where the nightmare fuel creature came staggering out of the corner of some room, repeating its own name and looking like some kind of nuclear waste-fueled industrial accident on par with the guy who got knocked through the vat of toxic waste in the original RoboCop. Maya Rudolph was announced as the new spokesperson for M&M's. They changed the logo on the bag to read M-A and Y-A, so it was Ma and Yaz instead of M&M's. And the gag was that they had begun filling M&M's with some kind of clam product. It sounds terrible. It is terrible. Both the concept of candy-coated clam bites and the commercial, because when I tell you that I am doing a better job of injecting this with humor than Maya Rudolph did? I am. And I think that that was on purpose because Maya Rudolph can be unbelievably funny. She was silly. She was broad. She did the job that I think she was paid to do. And I still believe, sincerely, that the Mars Corporation, the parent company of M&M's Candy, made a terrible, terrible mistake not using Maya Rudolph as a connection to Idiocracy. Because you know they could have afforded Luke Wilson to jump in. Maybe even grab Dax Shepard. Terry Crews, I think Terry Crews will do anything for one more protein shake. And they could have brought them together to comment on the stupidity of the meltdown over Mars Corporation being too woke because they revised their advertising mascots to be a little less slutty, which was, I believe, the issue that was brought up by Tucker Carlson on Fox News, that by removing the high heels and vague coquettishness of the green M&M, Mars had caved to the woke mob and had destroyed the ability of America to enjoy chocolate of any sort whatsoever because, I don't know. I think that they missed it, and I don't know if it was because they didn't really care about this campaign and they just brought Maya Rudolph in because she was game to have fun with it. It didn't really make any sense. The gig was up as the Maya Rudolph Ma and Ya's candy-coated clam bites spot concluded, and you could see the red M&M in the background holding up a sign that reads, "Help!" They also then announced the return of the animated M&M spokes candies in a follow-up commercial. I think the purple M&M got it right when it said, "I'm glad to be back because this is what I was made for, as a walking, talking candy. My options are pretty limited." This whole thing was so stupid and so useless. It had nothing to do with anything. I still can't believe that it's gotten the amount of coverage that it got. I'm glad that Maya Rudolph kind of jumped in to be the spoiler on this and this lovely distraction with this attitude of, "Oh, I'm so honored to get to work with M&Ms." And then to go out and do this just stupid commercial speaks to the woman's work ethic. And I'm willing to bet 7-figure check that was written for her to show up and shoot this stupid commercial. I want to believe that this is the end of this and that everybody's got that little jarring perspective check that says, yeah, all this was a big waste of time and it was very stupid. And the Mars Corporation spent the better part of $20 million addressing a controversy that was never a controversy because no sane person cares that much about candy mascots. I was going just back through my mind's, going back through my imagination, my memory of what mascots for junk food do or do not stand out over the course of my life. And I've realized that while I might laugh at a commercial, I might enjoy a particular ad campaign, I've not ever in my life made a food buying decision based on the mascot. Never. Not even as a small child. Now, maybe I'm lying to myself. I'm willing to admit that's a possibility because I like every little kid, I did like McDonald's. But I remember being excited about Happy Meal toys. I didn't care about Ronald McDonald. I didn't care about the Hamburglar. I didn't care about Grimace or Birdie or any of that, or Mayor McCheese, God forbid. None of that was interesting to me. That was part of what I was confused about when the what was it? The cactus plant flea market or whatever the weird design thing that they did where they released the adult Happy Meals where somebody added an extra row of eyeballs to a couple of the old McDonald's characters and then sold them in an oversized Happy Meal box. I just remember thinking like, okay, there's anybody who's ride or die for Grimace, good for you. And in terms of like candy bar mascots, no, maybe the Doublemint twins. They might have caught my eye a little bit. That was a formatively relevant time in my life for pretty girls in swimsuits to try and influence me to make decisions. But they weren't cartoons. I'm glad that it's over. I hope that it's over. I hope this is the last conversation that any of us ever have to have about it. Because I don't think that anything got accomplished except maybe a wink to the 24-hour news cycle has too much time to fill, and nobody who's got anything worthy going on in their life is expending calories caring about candy mascots. It's the only silver lining that I could put on this. They didn't try very hard. Their commercial was weird. It was dumb. They gave the whole thing up way too early. And basically to come back around and say, we're going to keep using the M&Ms because that's what they are. They're M&Ms. We're selling you M&Ms. We can roll out the same Christmas commercials we've been using for a decade and save a boatload of money because now it's actually been around long enough. It's tapping a nostalgia vein for some people. Meanwhile, Ben Affleck's Dunkin' Super Bowl commercial. Affleck did what appears to be work to shift as a drive-through guy at Dunkin' Donuts, like full-blown Massachusetts, Boston accent. It was kind of funny to watch some of the customers because some people, they had that look. That can't possibly be Ben Affleck. That kind of squinting, you're trying to maybe get a slightly different angle. Is that no? Why would Ben Affleck be at the drive-thru at Dunkin' Donuts? There was a couple of people, and it was something they incorporated. At one point, he asks a couple of girls, "Do you know who I am?" And they're like, "No." That was kind of funny. And then Jennifer Lopez pulls up in the drive-thru, and there's the punchline. What are you doing? Is that what you do when you say you're going to work all day? And then she tells him to get some menu item, and off they go. We know that Ben Affleck likes Dunkin' Donuts. He has not only referenced it professionally, but like every time the guy gets photographed in any kind of candid situation, he's got a Dunkin' Donuts coffee cup in his hand. I'm not quite sure. There's a lot of people that said they screamed when they saw the commercial. Unless there's a gag here that I'm not getting. It was cute. It was a funny commercial. Very, very, very famous person in mundane situation may or may not get recognized by people who have but a moment to register that, oh my God, that's a famous person from Hollywood handing me my coffee and donuts. Best tweet on this, coming from New York Times culture reporter Dave Itzkoff. The donuts that Ben Affleck were selling are already worth more than the crypto that Matt Damon was selling during last year's Super Bowl. Perfect. It's the Afternoon Drive at News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ, online at kmjnow.com. Phones are open for you at 490-5858 or 800-776-5858.
And taking a look at Monday afternoon traffic, it's best to avoid a Blackstone between Shaw and Barstow. Earlier this afternoon, there was a three-car collision and involved a fatality, and the road was closed down for quite a while, and parts of it still may be closed down. So try to avoid it completely. Tulare County, State Route 137, Road 68, a collision, no injuries involved. Back in Fresno, northbound 99, just south of Olive, a collision. It's unknown if there are any injuries there. And Tulare County, Road 156 between Avenue 32 and 40. It's closed down due to a flood. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
Chris Daniel for Breadcrumb Cybersecurity. Ransomware, wire fraud, breaches. You're talking about it for your business already. How could you not be? These are nation-based bad actors, criminal cartels, the same ones who target government and Fortune 500 companies are targeting you. It's time for the next step in protecting your company. It's time to call Breadcrumb. Trusted by law enforcement and nationally recognized, the team at Breadcrumb delivers results, period. Go now to breadcrumbcyber.com because evidence is everywhere.
This is Deborah McHenry, owner of Pinnacle Auto Brokers. I advertise on KMJ because I want more people to know they can save time and money on a new vehicle purchase without even setting foot in a dealership, and we have had amazing results. KMJ listeners are simply good Valley people. And Sherry C., my account rep, has always provided amazing customer service too. So call Sherry at 907-5835 and learn how easy it is to build your customer base on KMJ.
And now a small business setback, set to smooth jazz.
It's late. You're driving in the rain with only one thing on your mind. The deer about to total your HVAC van. But with Progressive's 30-plus customizable coverage options, you're covered. The rest is just saxophone.
When running your small business gets rough, Progressive Commercial is there to smooth it out. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Twinkly sound.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage and discounts not available for all vehicles or states. Policy terms and conditions apply.
Chris, this needs to go to Parkville by 3.
Joy to the holiday packages that keep coming at Jimenez Couriers.
Offers coming your way, but the drop-off location is changing.
She needs delivery drivers with the gift of punctuality.
Anyone looking to pick up some overtime? Anyone?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Every piece of land has a story, written by those who work it. And everyone's story is different. So the question is, how will you tell yours? Behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor, mower, or Gator utility vehicle. Run with us and start telling your story today.
Stop by one of our Lawrence Tractor locations in Visalia, Tipton, or Hanford, or visit us online at lawrencetractor.com.
Is your well almost dry, or is it dry? Are you on a waiting list to have a well drilled? Have you been turned away from other drilling companies who can't handle the hard rock drilling conditions in your area? Strickland Well Drilling is here for you. With over 2 decades of experience specializing in residential, agricultural, and hard rock drilling, Strickland Well Drilling proudly serves Fresno, Tulare, Kings, and Madera counties. Don't wait. Make the call today at 352-7228. Again, 352-7228. Or for more information, visit StricklandWellDrilling.com. Whether it's the soft, sandy soils of the West, the clay and cobble of the East, or the hard rock mountainous terrain, Strickland Well Drilling has the equipment and expertise to handle your individual water well needs. Access to clean water is vital, and Strickland Well Drilling knows you can't afford to wait. Call for a no-cost detailed estimate today at 352-7228. Strickland Well Drilling, dedicated to keep the valley flowing. Make the call today, 352-7228, or visit StricklandWellDrilling.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
522 on the afternoon drive. I'm Philip Teresi. It's News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ, online at kmjnow.com. The flyover at the Super Bowl, if you didn't catch this, all-female flyover team, which is kind of cool. And two of the aviators were right out of Naval Air Station Lemoore. So they had two FA-18F Super Hornets from the Flying Eagles of Strike Fighter Squadron VFA 122 and F-35C Lightning II from the Argonauts of VFA 147 and EG-18G Growler from the Vikings of Electronic Attack Squadron VAQ 129. And based out of Naval Air Station Lemoore, Lieutenant Commander Callie Zimmerman and Lieutenant Suri Moreno flew in that diamond formation as Chris Stapleton wrapped up the national anthem. So they spent like a week just practicing their timing. They obviously they train all the time, but you've got to make sure that you are not just on target, but that you're flying over at the right moment. You obviously don't want to interrupt the anthem, but you also don't want to show up 2 minutes after it's ended. Moreno said the best part of being a part of this is seeing that little spark happen and inspiring the next generation of women in aviation. If our faces and us flying over the Super Bowl gives one person, one child, that dream and that motivation to do what we're doing, that's worth it, said Zimmerman. Very cool stuff. I don't think I'd fit. We've been over this. I don't think I'll fit the cockpit of one of those things. I think they were built for a much more svelte profile. I would absolutely love to go up for a flight like that. I don't need to do all the Top Gun Maverick, multiple G, let's make the guy barf stuff. I could handle a barrel roll. I could handle a quick flyby. But whatever it is that gets people there, I ain't got it, man. I don't have the eyesight. I don't have the hand-eye coordination. I admire the hell out of what those people are doing. So we've got a former GOP congressional candidate locked out of his Twitter account. Now, let's be clear. This is not a congressman. This is a failed candidate. His name is Mario Fratto. He was a candidate in New York's 24th congressional district. And he was locked out of his Twitter account after he responded to a post from Elon Musk with a meme that implies that people who don't identify as male or female are mentally ill. Fratto now tells Fox News the new Twitter's feeling very much like the old Twitter. So the meme that he posted was a Venn diagram. And so you had the two circles representing male and female, and then you had two other circles perpendicular to those, and except for the outer edges of the male and female circles reading male and female, everything else on the Venn diagram just has the words mental illness. The post got marked as hateful. But Fratto compared his suspension to Orwellian censorship and says that he will not delete the tweet because it would violate his beliefs on biological sex. Fratto says, I just feel like I'd be compromising my principles if I sit here and say, okay, I'll take it down because it's hateful or whatever. I just think it's an honest statement of fact, which is also a personal belief. Well, beliefs and facts aren't the same thing. Sometimes they align, sometimes they don't. I believe that you could use a Venn diagram to illustrate that point. Fratto was informed that his account was suspended last week. He was told that in order to restore access, he must delete the tweet. He was also told that he could appeal the decision in a French court. Okay. The also ran said that one of the reasons he ran for Congress was in response to his alleged suspension on YouTube following a video questioning Dr. Fauci. Now, here we go with a statement that I think was meant to sound tongue-in-cheek, but is actually a confession. Fratto says, quote, "It's like Twitter was my only safe space." He then carries on likening the rank and file of Twitter to a so-called deep state. And he speculates that people opposed to free expression are embedded within the company regardless of Elon Musk's takeover. Twitter, of course, has not responded to Fox News Digital's request for comment because Elon Musk fired all of their media relations people. Then this guy goes on to expand on his comparison to George Orwell's 1984. Twitter, I think this might be the last time I do one of these stories. And here's why. I've said this over and over and over again. And at a certain point, either people like Mario Fratto are going to figure it out because they're going to educate themselves, or they're stupid and they're not, and they're going to continue to bitch about having consequences for having engaged in free speech. Twitter is not an arm of the government. Therefore, Twitter is not in any meaningful constitutional sense capable of violating your First Amendment rights, because Twitter is not a branch of the government. And the First Amendment specifically pertains to restraining the government from infringing on your free speech rights. A private entity responding to complaints about your speech, because I guarantee that Twitter does not have enough staff to just go around picking out random also-rans and complaining about their content, which means that somewhere some user saw what he posted and complained about it. Likely multiple people complained about it. And that resulted in the Twitter algorithm saying, oh, a whole bunch of people are complaining about this. Let's take it down and we'll wait and see what the appropriate action is. And then somebody comes along and goes, oh, yeah, it's a jerky tweet, or it's an unpopular tweet, or it's a tweet that doesn't agree with that particular censor's own prejudices and biases. And then the response becomes, well, if you want your Twitter account reopened, go ahead and delete the rude tweet. Twitter's not a branch of the government. That wasn't a violation of your First Amendment rights. Choosing to engage with a private entity whose primary concern is the hosting of speech and then getting mad when they curate that speech isn't Orwellian. So you can leave Twitter right now. And I'm going to do this right now. It's 5:31 p.m. on Monday, February 13th, 2023. And to paraphrase the Venn diagram that also ran Fratto posted, the gender spectrum, male, female, mental illness. Somebody somewhere is going to find that offensive or hurtful or unpleasant to hear. There are also people who are going to find that sensible and reasonable and comforting to know that their worldview continues to be confirmed. You can call my boss and yell about it. Go right ahead. You can call my boss's boss and yell about it. Go right ahead. You can email the corporation that signs my paycheck and tell them that you hate what I said or that you love what I said. Go ahead. I'm not going to get fired because even if you disagree with me, it's all a matter of opinion. Now, if I go on the air and I say something slanderous or libelous or something that could cause actual harm, not just owies on the feels, but actual harm, then you might get me to be forced to make an apology, or you might get me suspended. You might even get me fired. Maybe. Bar's pretty high for that, but it does happen. Twitter doesn't operate the way my bosses operate. If enough of you hate me and enough of you take action to demonstrate to my bosses that you hate me, I will get fired. That can happen. Just like if enough of you continue to listen and call and write and say nice things, I'll keep my job. That's how this works. There's nothing Orwellian about it. It's the consequences of speech. The First Amendment guarantees you the right to freedom of speech. It has not ever promised you protection from the consequences of speech. Which makes me happy that Fratto didn't get elected to Congress, because whatever he thinks about the gender spectrum, he's obviously too ignorant of the Constitution to understand what the job would be as a legislator. And he's clearly either never read or never comprehended 1984.
KMJ News now.
It's 5:30 in Fresno. Good afternoon. I'm Jim Miller here at the WCBM News Center. A driver killed this afternoon. It follows a collision on Blackstone and San Jose Avenues in Fresno. Police called to the area at about 1:30 after learning a driver in a Dodge Charger crashing into a red pickup at a high rate of speed. Police learned the driver in the Charger racing a pickup down Blackstone Avenue prior to spinning out and crashing into a red pickup. Fresno police say the driver of the Charger, who was not identified, taken to Community Regional Medical Center where they later died. Officers say the driver in the red pickup reported minor injuries following the collision. A middle school in Parler grieving over the loss of a 7th grader. Counselors on hand today to help students and staff cope with Fernanda Perez Almada, who was hit and killed by a car Friday night. The 13-year-old in a crosswalk. She headed home from school near Amigos Drive and Madsen Avenue. The driver stopped to help then called 911. Investigators don't believe drugs or alcohol were involved. The New York Police Department investigating an incident in Brooklyn of a U-Haul truck barreling down a sidewalk, hitting people on the street. Fox's Gernal Scott with more.
It was an incident eerily similar to a terror act 6 years ago.
Looking for a U-Haul small box truck, license plate Arizona, Adam Larry 73238. Occupied by male white.
That audio courtesy of Broadcastify. 8 people, including an officer, were hit. The unknown driver was caught after a brief foot chase. NYPD Commissioner Keyshawn Sewell.
We have no indication that there is any terrorism involvement in this incident.
It is, however, reminiscent of 2017 when Seyfulo Saipo hit and killed 8 people in Manhattan. The penalty phase of his terrorism trial is beginning after a jury found him guilty last month. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Now the forecast from Fox 26 is Justin Willis.
A little breezy for your Valentine's Day tomorrow, 15 to 25 mile-an-hour winds and plenty of sunshine. Freeze watch already in effect for Wednesday and Thursday. During that time, we could see temps a few degrees below freezing across the valley overnights. Otherwise, seasonable weather for us to start the week. Afternoon highs are in the mid-60s today. Overnight lows in the upper 30s. For KMJ, from the Fox 26 Weather Center, I'm Justin Willis.
With news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks, and always streaming at KMJNow.com. I'm Jim Miller for News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
And taking a look at our Monday afternoon traffic, if you're going to be going north or south on Blackstone, be very wary between Barstow and Shaw. There was a major accident earlier this afternoon. Fatality was involved, and their investigations were going on all afternoon, so be very wary there. Tulare County, Road 156 between Avenue 32 and 40, closed due to a flood. Back in Fresno, northbound 99, just south of Olive, a collision. It's unknown if any injuries have occurred there. And in Hanford, 42nd Avenue and Jackson Avenue, a collision. No injuries involved there. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
Inflation goes up. Do you feel like you need to refinance your car to fill up the gas tank? What if 2 years ago, someone offered to sell you a lifetime supply of gas at $2.75 a gallon, but you told them no? Today, you would be kicking yourself. Right now, Planet Solar has that same offer for you on your electric bill. As inflation goes up, so does your utility bill. Lock in your energy prices today with a new Planet Solar system. Planet Solar is locally owned and operated in Clovis. They're big enough to offer you all the best brands and in-house financing, but small enough to give you the personal service you deserve. Call Planet Solar to find out how to lock in your electricity costs today. You'll be glad you did. Call them at 559-228-9245 or find them on the web at planetsolar.com. That's 228-9245 or planetsolar.com. License number 938313.
We've all been called to bless kids in our communities, and Cars4Kids.org is helping generous and faithful listeners like you make a difference with that unused or unwanted vehicle. Donate your car, truck, van, motorcycle, or boat in any condition, and your blessing will go directly to kids and provide mental health services, education, food, housing, and basic necessities. So please call 866-835-5437 or give now at Cars4Kids.org. That's Cars4Kids.org. And right off the car, not the kid.
Family traditions. Where did they go? The days of gathering around the table with your family and friends and an abundance of delicious food in a warm, comfortable atmosphere. Well, that tradition lives on at the Old Spaghetti Factory. For nearly 50 years, the Old Spaghetti Factory has been serving the Central Valley fresh pasta in Italian dishes. Dine in their signature trolley car and enjoy their deliciously affordable 3-course meals, or grab a drink from their classically decorated bar. The Old Spaghetti Factory is perfect for families and groups, and fantastic catering and banquets are available. The Old Spaghetti Factory is located on Shaw near Cedar, or visit osf.com. The Old Spaghetti Factory, where tradition lives on. As a way of saying thank you to our KMJ listeners, we're offering a $50 gift certificate for $25. Just go to kmjnow.com this Friday and click on Sweet Deals.
Farmers and growers, are you looking to find the best agricultural resources in one location? Get connected with more than 30 agricultural companies, from everyday products to custom farm services. Give the Ag Center a call at 209-454-5700. The Ag Center offers farmers throughout California assistance and support to help take on the daily challenges of farm management. Learn more on how the Ag Center can help you at www.theagcenter.com.
Samba to big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chukchansi Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino.
Teresi tackles Fresno and California issues every day.
Philip Teresi.
On News Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ.
Well, to your 5 o'clock hour, last call for your calls at 490-5858 or 800-776-5858. A warning being put out from the State Department. Americans are being told, get out of Russia yesterday. The experts are divided on the significance of a U.S. embassy warning received in Moscow. But they're telling American citizens, get out of Russia now. And this is probably tied to very much to the ramping up in Ukraine and concern over just arbitrary decisions. So the U.S. Embassy in Moscow put out the warning, quote, U.S. citizens residing or traveling in Russia should depart immediately. Exercise increased caution due to risk of wrongful detentions. The department also said, do not travel to Russia. The embassy has warned that its ability to help Americans in Russia has been severely limited due to staffing limitations, travel restrictions, and the suspension of consular services. All Americans have been warned to find a way out of the country immediately. They've also been reminded that American debit and credit cards do not work in Russia, and that electronic transfer of funds has become increasingly difficult due to sanctions. The embassy added Russian security services have arrested American citizens on spurious charges, singled out U.S. citizens in Russia for detention and harassment, denied them fair and transparent treatment, and convicted them in secret trials or without presenting credible evidence. Now, the State Department has not yet commented on why specifically this warning was issued today and whether that suggested a looming escalation in the Ukrainian war. The Kremlin dismissed the warnings by the embassy and pointed to a similar call to leave Russia issued by the State Department back in September after Vladimir Putin mobilized more Russians to join his ranks in Ukraine. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov, this guy is just, he's a dirtbag. Watch him sometime. This guy's got ice water in his veins. Warnings have been voiced by the State Department many times in the last period, so this is not a new thing. U.S. experts Monday were divided on the significance of the warning and on its timing. One former Defense Intelligence Agency officer for Russia Doctrine and Strategy described the alert as serious. Her name is Rebecca Koffler. She pointed out that the announcement comes 10 days ahead of Russia's Soviet Army Day, also known as Defender of the Fatherland Day. It is also 11 days before the one-year anniversary of the invasion in Ukraine. She says Putin wants to claim some kind of achievement and that she believes Russia is going to mount a massive assault within the next week as they think they look to gain ground in Ukraine. Now, Ukrainian and Western defense officials have been banging the drum on this for months that Russia's planning a major offensive. They want to try and turn the tide after not really gaining any ground for the past few months. Analyst Koffler said there's no way for this war to go except up. And she actually questioned why the department had not issued another warning to citizens ahead of the looming offensive up until today. She also points out that in Ukraine, Russia has no exit strategy, and the Ukrainians view this as an existential threat and therefore will never concede. Now, the former CIA station chief in Moscow, Dan Hoffman, says that the embassy alert was routine and it serves as a reminder to Americans of how dangerous the situation can be if they remain in or travel to Russia. He told Fox News, the bottom line is we've issued these warnings in the past. Just because you issued it once doesn't mean everybody remembers. We don't make decisions based on calendar dates. He says, I've served in a lot of embassies overseas. What we do is we look at the threat and we say, it's still out there. We'll remind everybody, public service announcement. There is a big war going on, and U.S. persons are at risk. We've got to serve our citizens and let them know this is a dangerous place. We probably don't want more people to get caught up in Russia's extortion. And he references both Paul Whelan, who is still being held in Russia, and Brittany Griner, who did make it home. Someday, I want to go see Russia. I really do. I'm curious about the place. Someday I want to go to Ukraine. But there's a lot of places that I want to go. I want to go see the pyramids in Giza. I want to go to the Holy Land. I'm not going to any of those places as long as there is a risk that I or my family are going to get taken hostage for some kind of extortion scheme. Not because I'm somebody, but specifically because I'm not somebody. And yet there's going to be Americans in Russia who blow this off. And there's going to be expats in Russia who think that because they've stepped away from the capitalist pigs, that they're going to be safe and that they're going to be welcomed with open arms. And I don't think they realize that they may not understand that's one of those places where if you're not from around here, you're never going to be from around here, so to speak. It's the Afternoon Drive at News Talk 580 and 105.9 KMJ. If you missed any part of the show, go grab the podcast. We got all kinds of good stuff waiting for you at kmjnow.com.
And there were problems on Blackstone between Shaw and Barstow this afternoon. There was a 3-vehicle collision in which a person lost his life. So be careful around there. There's been cleanup going on and there's been investigations going on. The road should be open fairly soon. It's been closed for about almost 4 hours now. In Tulare County, State Route 137, Road 68, we have a collision, no injuries. And in the Hanford area, 4th Avenue at Jackson Avenue, a collision, injuries involved there. And in Fresno Cedar Avenue at Mount Whitney, there's been a collision with injuries involved. With KMJ Traffic, I'm Ron McCary.
Samba through big-time winning.
And fabulous fun.
It's Chauncey Gold and the $650,000 Rio Carnival of Riches.
Dance to win January 2nd through February 24th. Only at Chauncey Gold Resort and Casino.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WIN for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WIN for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WIN.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-932-4177. 800-932-4177. 800-932-4177.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs. You used to associate crickets with silence. But since you bought a house in the suburbs, you know crickets hate silence. If any other creature realized rubbing its legs together made a piercing, high-pitched noise, they might think, maybe I won't do that. Constantly. All night long. Luckily, you can save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto. Now that's something to make noise about. Just not constantly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers.
We expect our information in real time. U.S. Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. U.S. Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 800-730-8405 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check. As easy as, that's 800-730-8405.
For more than 2 decades, the Business Journal has been the comprehensive source for business news in Fresno, Kings, Madera, and Tulare counties. We deliver the Valley's most important business stories in print, online at thebusinessjournal.com, and to email inboxes via our daily update and morning roundup newsletters. The Business Journal has won dozens of local, state, and national awards for its news coverage, design, and web development. Communication with the Fresno Business Journal can have a positive impact on your company's bottom line. Readers of the Business Journal are affluent and influential. Collectively, they lead and manage about 50% of the metro area's total employees. Readers of the Business Journal make personal and professional buying decisions every day. Advertising in the Business Journal influences people with influence. Call their marketing people today at 490-3422 and stay ahead of your competition. That's 490-3422 or email Abner Garcia at abner@thebusinessjournal.com.
2023 is going to be an interesting year as political heavyweights set their sights on the White House. Trump, DeSantis, Pence. And what about President Biden? Will he run again?
These guys, they don't quite get it.
And what about Governor Newsom? He says he's not running, but can we believe him? him.
In every way, none of this is a surprise.
You'll get the answers right here on News Talk 580 1059 KMJ and streaming at KMJNow.com.
Everything that happens in Fresno's got to run the gauntlet at KMJ. It is such a blessing for you all to have what you have. It's been 100 years of communicating with your community. There's nothing like that for 1,000 miles.
And so ends our broadcast day.
Rolling up on 6 o'clock on a Monday afternoon at News Talk 580 and 1059 KMJ. The great one, Mark Levin, is on his way in just a couple of minutes. If you missed any part of the show, you can get the podcast, KMJNow.com. You can also subscribe Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, iHeart, TuneIn Radio, wherever you like to listen. Just search for KMJ's Afternoon Drive. Hit that subscribe button. Makes the boss happy. And by the way, if you like listening online, the new app, oh my God, it's so much better. The old app sucked. It's official. We can say that. The old app sucked. It was terrible. It didn't work the way it was supposed to. It didn't have any features to speak of. And at least on my phones, you couldn't even close the blessed thing without doing like a forced stop and a phone reset. The new app doesn't suck. The new app's actually pretty great. Sounds good, runs light, and will allow you to take KMJ wherever you want to go. New features being added all the time, including the podcasts. But for now, if you want to listen to KMJ on the go, that's a really, really great way to do it. Search for it, either 580 KMJ or KMJ Now in the Google Play and iOS stores. And if you're bumping around online, go to KMJNow.com. New sweet deal coming up Friday, 9 a.m., the Old Spaghetti Factory, $25 to get you $50 to spend there. But we've got sweet deals at KMJNow.com, including, shockingly, small cakes. The Cupcakery did not sell out yet. And what with Valentine's Day being tomorrow, that's right, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Hey, guys, remember, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. If I wasn't clear about that, if you're in a relationship and you don't have something to present her tomorrow, Small Cakes Cupcakery gift certificates on sale at KMJNow.com. $25, get you $50 to spend there. I don't know what your plans are. Fortunately, Mrs. Teresi and I really took care of the vast majority of our Valentine's Day gift exchange and all that this weekend. And just kind of took the stress off of it, just had a little fun, got her flowers and chocolates and the usual stuff. One of the blessings of accelerating towards our 21st year of being together. Man, oh man, it is easy to get those expectations clear and to make each other happy just by doing the easy thing. It also didn't hurt that she got me a really spectacular bottle at Don Julio right before the game started. You know, I got lucky. I got one of the good ones. I'm going to get out of here. Hey, tomorrow, another chance for you to win tickets to see Jose Ramirez battle Richard Comey at the Save Mart Center. That fight is the 25th, and Ray Appleton has your tickets all this week on the Ray Appleton program, 11 to 2 on News Talk 580 and 1059 KMJ. Thanks for your calls, your messages, and your attention. The great one, Mark Levin, is on the way. Before that, we will hear from the folks in the Fox newsroom, as well as our friends at the Valleys, Legends, and Legacies. Have a happy Valentine's Day. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock right here on KMJ.
Missed part of the show? Get the Afternoon Drive podcast at KMJNow.com or by searching KMJ's Afternoon Drive in TuneIn Radio or Google Podcasts.
The Valley's Legends and Legacies are brought to you as a public service by the family of Bill Tatham Sr. for you to experience the value of history as a learning opportunity to inspire your success today and as a spark of your imagination for the future.
One of Fresno's strengths is the family-owned businesses that are tucked away